Join the league. Join the league.
Albums of power.
Debates. Open your mind.
Albums of power.
So, a community is where you control your beliefs, control commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a good. Well, what about the big roads that get out? Oh, well, my cousin, he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 million. 3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago, in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hit his sorry and looked to the rear and hit his top off, flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heartbeat fast. Because he knew the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passing by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Mom. That Negro thing you can't get away from. They wasn't coming after you. But all your billions and your Rolls Royce and your PhD didn't help. That's good. Why do you think you never pick up the paper and read over and over? See white families come here and thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying? That's like, oh, God, Pop out one point. That's at the back of the head. Why do you think black cops are there? You think they're more spiritual? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna talk really. And I was stopping our neighborhood was being decided we were not tolerant. Now, if we were organized, which is hard to organize people who are systems run crazy, you don't know crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro. And we said, look, we said, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, you have to have a license to actually drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store boy or a private detective. Now, how do you get Congress to put that to? You take the economic power, and you call on your friends, black, white, young, and old, and say, this coming privilege, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call it for nationwide for a having privilege in the store on Thanksgiving. 39% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People did it all year. Those money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happened now? Huh? Like they got Georgia, season over, West House. They go get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power with the system that wipes us out so that. The officer comes for one suspect detention.
Open your minds.
And peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, as always, got a good throwdown for y'all tonight. Tonight, we have Brother M.O.T. versus Trey, the NBD. And tonight, we will be debating how should we deal with bad police policy. But y'all know, before we get started, I always start the show off, man, with thanking y'all, man, for your support, your subscriptions, your views, your likes, your shares, all that kind of stuff. And definitely your coins, because you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to show up to these goddamn hey, what's good, WOTP? Been a while since I seen you up there. What's good with it? Yeah, you don't have to support this show the way you do, man. You don't have to watch these damn videos. You don't have to show up to these damn live streams. You don't have to watch all this stuff, man, and show up here every week, but you choose to do so. And for that, I am humbled. I'm honored. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative, man, because y'all keep this thing going. You know, I mean, this is the second stream of the night. I don't know if y'all was in here earlier, but earlier we had Monteria Robinson on, and she was talking about the killing of her son, Jamarion. And I know a lot of y'all that's in here now was up in here then. So y'all back for round two, because y'all know on Wednesday nights we do these throwdowns, man, and it is appreciated, man. You know, I appreciate all of y'all, man. And hey, I thank you. Yeah, so tonight, Brother M.O.T., who is actually Team Fantastic, by the way, versus Trey, the NBD, who is from Team NBD. And we're gonna have a throwdown tonight, man. I don't know if y'all was here last week. I took a little bit of a hit from YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we'll do this. I'll see y'all on the other side of this. All right.
Peace, everyone. You may have noticed the super chat icon is missing because T.P.O.T has been demonetized. Yes. So if you would like to show your support, we would really appreciate it. If so, you have to use the Cash App or StreamYard donation tab. We won't let the speech police at YouTube stop you from showing your support to T.P.O.T. Remember, StreamYard and Cash App is how you donate to T.P.O.T. Thank you.
And one more thing, folks. Kiss my black ass, YouTube. Now back to the show.
You know.
Yeah. So that's what happened. But we won't let that stop you good folks from doing what you do. So, you know, if you want to hit up the old T.P.O.T donation box, you're going to have to do it through Streamlabs or Cash App. Many of y'all just do the Cash App anyway. Y'all will see that going up and down. The old Streamlabs bot will be putting that in there. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. I see that one of my debaters is here, but the other one is not. And I don't have. What's good, Brother Hulk? I see you up there, man. My timer is not here either. You know. Oh, good look on that. Oh shit, I ain't even checking my phone. I got my phone on silent, y'all. My bad. Let me turn on. What the hell's going on here? Good look on that Cash App, brother. Who? Trey Space Brands. I guess that's brother Trey. Oh, okay. All right. Good look on that Cash App, brother. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah. So tonight we're gonna be debating. We're gonna be debating. Once we get the debaters up. Oh, now I have no debaters. I had one. Now I have none. I went from one to none, y'all. And I don't have a timekeeper either. But that's my bad though, because I didn't hit my timekeepers up till like, 10 minutes before we were starting. And I had time to hit them up too, because I was bullshitting. I got up at work early today and everything, man. So I had to get off early because I had Monteria Robinson on here, and she was coming on at 6:30. So I had to break out early. So I had enough time, just that I've been fucking off. I have been fucking off, y'all. I've been fucking off. But if I have to keep the time myself, I will, even though I don't want to. I might have waited too late to hit my timekeepers up. That might have been my bad. But anyway, let me bring in my folks. Brother Trey.
What up? What up? What up?
What's going on, man?
Brother M.O.T.
What's good, M.O.T?
What's good?
Oh, what's up, man? Chilling out.
Chilling.
Y'all brothers ready for this, man?
What's good? Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Just good, get your timekeeper straight,
What's good with it? What's good with it? What's good with it? Now we don't have a timekeeper. We don't have a timekeeper, so I might have to keep the time till one of them comes in, because I got two official timekeepers who keep time for us. But I'm always hitting them up at the last goddamn minute. So
man, you need to get Brandon
I
L
don't
up
know
here to
what's
be a
going on
timekeeper
right now. So I'll keep the clock
talking all that trash
for now until one of my timekeepers come through. But let me explain to the debate. I know most. Who, Brandon? Let me explain the rules of the debate to those of you who may not know them. We start out with 7-minute opening rounds, where each debater will have 7 minutes to lay down their opening argument and lay down their premise that they're going to use. In the rebuttal round, each debater has 5 minutes to rebut. We go back and forth like that for a little while. We take a little break. And when we come back, we go into something called rapid fire. Now, rapid fire, there's no timekeeper, there's no clock. The debaters actually engage directly, mano a mano, one on. We do that for a little arguments, and there'll be 7 minutes allowed for that, for each debater to lay out their closing argument and wrap it up. When that is completed, then we will go to the audience for a poll, and if the brothers have time, we will take questions from the audience, and y'all know how we do it. YouTube done took my damn super chat. So if you want to ask a question, they must be cash apt. All right. Now, tonight we are debating, how should we deal with bad police policy? So, I believe that Brother Trey believes we should just bounce on up out of there. Brother Trey.
That's correct. Walk
Can you
away.
hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah, I can.
Oh shit.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, Trey.
Can
Yeah,
Hear
y'all
Trey,
me,
hear
I
me?
heard.
M.O.T?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Trey, I heard what you said. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. And I believe brother M.O.T. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear everybody now. Is confront or change the policy, if I'm correct, right, brother M.O.T?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
Mine
your
is,
position?
yeah, yeah. My position is rather some extremely brutal ways of dealing with this that are regarding policy wise. So,
M.O.T.
hello.
Yo, I'm here.
You didn't hear me
Okay,
all the way through
so
without Boyga,
I'm
right?
going to consider you the affirmative. That would make that would make that would make brother Trey the positive. Yeah, I can hear you pretty good now. I can hear you pretty good now.
Okay.
I hear you pretty good. Um, yeah. So that would means if you're, I guess, I would consider brother Trey negative. Then he would have to be the negative. Would make you the affirmative.
Yeah.
So the negative always goes first. Let me get my clock up here. Hold on a second. Let me get my clock ready, y'all. Let's see what we got here. All right.
Hey, who's going first? I couldn't hear you. You borged out.
Oh,
7
okay, so
minutes
it wasn't
on the
just me
clock.
hearing that. Hey, Trey, you're going first.
Okay. All right. Give me like about 45 seconds there. I thought he said you, M.O.T. Real quick, let me shut this door where I'm at. I thought he said you. Hold on.
Brother Trey, you are up. Damn, the clock ain't on the
No,
screen, is it? Why the hell not?
it is on the screen. I see it. But Trey said he needed 45 seconds before he gets started.
Okay. And
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. 7 minutes on the clock. Brother Trey, you're going first. You're up first, brother Trey.
All right. Like to say what's going on to everybody up in the chat. Brother X, man of tomorrow, salute. So just gonna go
Yep,
ahead and
you
just
up.
get it rolling. All right, y'all. I've been a law-abiding citizen since the age of 22. Before that, let's just say I got into some ill stuff growing up in Virginia. I learned at an early age to be respectful and keep it G with the police, especially if you're up to no good. The only run-ins I had after that
Yes.
were due to dealings with my ex-ABW spouse. Man, cops
Okay.
would show and they'd have to take someone away, even though there was no proof of anything. I even spent a
All
month
right.
locked up in Kansas after getting into it with her at a gas station. I was so enraged before I left our Colorado apartment that I left all my identification, including the vehicle registration, at home. I vowed that was the last time I would ever deal with the cops. However, I chose to stay in that relationship and I endured more of the same. That's all on me. Finally, I left cold turkey after she called the cops on me after my back-to-back deployments to Haiti, Honduras, and Afghanistan in 2012. The police showed up and they sided with me. They were on my side. They kind of laughed at her. Man, they almost shot her. But that was it. I packed my bags, left, and never looked back. Since then, I think I stopped numerous times. I like the speed. It is what it is. During those stops, I've received numerous warnings, hugs. I even got a phone number from an ABW cop. I got a heartfelt caution from a black cop in the Third Ward section of H-Town while I was checking out a potential real estate flip. Shout out Third Ward Colombian. All right. In regards to police policy, I have no use for it. I have no dog in this fight. My heart goes out to the small percentage of Americans that are affected by bad police policy. However, I choose to put my efforts into causes that I'm passionate about. Those include Black men walking away from the dysfunction of the community and the insane, disheartening amount of Black and other minority children being murdered in metropolitan areas of the United States. Fellas, the problem is proximity. Shout out to Mad Bus Driver for his earlier video on pro-Black drones attacking brothers in interracial relationships. You know, as passport bros, SYSBM cats, and even thinking Black men in those relationships, be on the lookout. Stay strapped up. You know, exercise that Second Amendment right. We have to remove ourselves from the dysfunction, as I stated before. If that means picking your family up and moving your children to a place where they won't be victim to senseless shootings in the street, make it happen. Speaking of those metro areas, let's look at Chicago, Baltimore, St. Louis, New York City, and Atlanta to name a few. Matter of fact, they're all ran by ABWs, those same ones, you know, a lot of the brothers in the manosphere complain about. These are all places where cops have been limited or they've been defunded. All of these cities once had peaceful suburban areas that are now caught up in the mix of violence. Fellas, take a deep look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you want to risk your kids' lives, your Stargate or your future Stargate's life, or your own life because you choose to be close to the community? I say no, thank you. Pick up, roll out, deuces. I've been around this country about 3 times the past 2 months. I've delivered and picked up freight in the reddest of red states, and I've received nothing but love from all races, white, Black, Hispanic, Native American, you name it. I was even stopped by a police officer in Middlegate, Nevada, while I was live on Game Changers panel. Shout out GC. He initially approached me with apprehension and his hand on his service weapon. However, I kept it a buck, and my Dominican wife just smiled at him. You know, shout out 50 Cent. What did he say? Man, it feels good to be with an exotic, feminine woman. That cop left, thanked me for my service. He flirted with my wife and told, me marijuana jokes about Bill Clinton. Like I said, the police policy, it ain't my fight. To my friend Manny tomorrow, the 5-0 talking points belong to you tonight. As I stated, there is no debate for me on this matter. I yield.
All right. So are you ceding that time, Brother
Yes.
Trey? Are you ceding the time? All
Yes.
right. Brother M.O.T, do you want the time?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
For as
so
much
that
of
will.
it that I'm going to need.
All right. Well, I'll set it up for 9:26 then, and we'll just work with it from there. Hold on. All right, Brother M.O.T, you up?
All right. Okay. It's great for people to think that you can really act your way out of bad policy. Those are anecdotal reasons on the road. Of course, I get stopped just as much, and I have all those same interactions. But those interactions are not the vast majority of the interactions that happen within these cities where people actually live. Most of the police, when they come in contact with actual citizens, are doing it in a very unconstitutional way. The reason why you can't hold the police to any type of account, to especially the bad ones, we got 3 layers of actual overlapping levels of incredibly bad policy. The very first one is qualified immunity for the police. The police can actually take any type of situation, escalate it to an actual situation where violence is actually being used, and they are not held responsible for anything that happens within that actual occurrence. If you don't know, I would tell you up front. Whenever you're pulled over by the police, no matter what is happening, that actual traffic stop takes on the life of the biggest a-hole who shows up to the party. And everybody sits there and they say not a single word about it. And this happens to people who are black and people who are white. You can't act your way out of bad policy. You can't ignore the actual things that are actually out there. And you really can't show up to a debate saying that there is no debate. There are actually people who are being affected by this. The guy in Minnesota, I forget what country he's from, he actually went to jail for actually abusing his police power in a way that he wasn't supposed to. We know that does not happen to white counterparts within the same actual career field all the time. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of world would you like to live in? Would you like to live in a world where the police, who are professional at work, are held to the level and standards of professionalism at all times? Or do you depend on their actual union to actually stop the actual due process and make sure that that never happens? You have to realize that's not the only thing that goes wrong here. You have the actual prosecutor who has prosecutorial immunity from his actual actions or what they do in and outside the office. Now, the police who have qualified immunity, the prosecutor who have prosecutorial immunity, and the judge who have kind of judicial immunity because he's not held to any type of account for the things that really go on inside his courtroom. So when you have three overlapping levels of actually bad policy, and none of these people can actually be held to account for their actual actions, the anecdotal things that happen within some person's life and minds really doesn't matter to the people who are trapped within these cities who are going through this. At the end of the day, these people are at work and they are professionals and they are to be held to a professional standard, just like anybody else who's at work. Me, just like Trey, we're both drivers. I'm a fleet owner, but I still love driving. At the end of the day, I still have to keep my license in good standing by doing all the appropriate things during my actual training and actually acquitting it on the job in a very professional manner. And if I don't, I lose my license. Police, they don't lose their license whenever they do something unprofessional on the job. If there is a police officer who get injured anywhere in the country, it's nationwide news. You have police who fly all over the country to funerals and all that kind of stuff. But when the same people, one of their own, is in trouble, 100% dead silence is what you hear from the police. So I'm like, I like that type of silence. So what I want to do for the police is you treat them like any other professional. I don't think police officers are special. I think they should have less rights than everybody else out there, to be quite honest with you. Because normal citizens should be able to put down police the way they put us down or try to put us down. If a police officer steps out of line and encourages a situation at all, citizens should be able to put down the police at this point in America. Because it's too many times we've seen these people just do unprofessional actions and nobody's taken into account. But see, they have a level of protection already. So what I'm saying is just allow more equal protection under the law by allowing the actual people who they police to treat those people the way they treat them. Because you have to realize it's a very small minority of police who are actually doing these things that are wrong within these departments. And you have to realize in most municipalities, you cannot make an actual complaint against an officer unless it goes to the supervisor of the police first, because they like to handle it in house. So if you make a complaint in house, you normally lose your job. That's where it works everywhere. You should be able to go to the mayor or even the criminal or even the Department of Justice to make your complaints and have your actual investigations be done on police who are doing unprofessional police action. There are actually in the past police that were so bad, Cleveland and Philly being one of them, that They had to be watched by the FBI for a while in order to get their normal rights to be able to police back. So you have to understand that you're not going to be able to move from these bad policies here. The only thing you can do is make sure that we live in that more perfect union. Yes, I don't have any relations with the police, but when I do have them, some of them that I run across, they do try to escalate something when there's nothing there. The police should not be around trying to revenue enforce, write tickets, any of that stuff. That has nothing to do with the actual police. You go to police everywhere else in the world, they're not trying to find every reason to nickel and dime you and all this kind of stuff. The actual police's job is to make sure that the place is safe. And I'm not sure how writing tickets and escalating things to needless violence is somehow helping in that fashion. So what I'm saying is this: if you show up to a policy debate about what you need, what we have to do to the police, you got to have an answer. You just can't show up to a policy debate and say it ain't my fight. I yield my time. Like, this is a serious issue for some people in the country. There are many things that happen in this country one time that we have legislation that fixes the entirety of that issue. These people are at work. They're just unprofessional and at work. The world can go on without unprofessional police officers. The vast majority of them do their job very well. But we need to stop police from coming in contact with people if they don't know how to act with people. That's that's the crux of my argument here. Because we have this overlapping levels of protection for those people where citizens have no protection. With the Slager case in Carolina, without that camera on that actual cop who dropped that weapon there, would you have believed the story if somebody would have said that this guy actually dropped the weapon there after he shot him? Like, this is what I'm talking about. We need to be able to make sure that we holding these people to the maximum level of account. And I suggest a police version of the Uniform Code and the Military Justice. So that way, since they want to be cowards when it's convenient, scared when it's convenient, and heroes when it's convenient, then you'll be held to a hero standard. There's the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You just make a police version. So when you step out of line, you abuse authority, you do any type of unprofessional behavior, we drop an entire house on you. But we've been fighting the battle the wrong way by just running up in power's face. The first thing we have to do is get rid of these police unions for the police, and then we can start canceling these contracts. And then after you cancel these contracts, you reform the contract where every day I have to sign an affidavit saying that everything within this logbook is true and correct. The same thing needs to happen to the police. They need to read over the Constitution at their formation and make sure they sign off on that they're going to treat everybody with equal protection under the law. Time's up.
Hey, yo, X, you there?
Us into the rebuttal round.
Hey, how many rebuttal
So,
rounds do we have?
I don't know, probably like two, maybe.
What the hell
X?
just happened? All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, just question. How many rebuttal rounds do we have?
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all
Yeah,
hear me?
I can. Wow.
Can anyone
Yes,
hear me?
I can hear you.
We're probably only gonna do two.
Okay,
We're
two.
gonna go
Okay.
back. We'll go to you, then M.O.T, then you, then M.O.T, and then we'll go into rapid fire. We'll do it like that.
Okay. All right. I just know if you're gonna have two or three. Needed to
Did
know,
y'all hear that?
Yeah,
how to
we did.
condense
All
my
right.
thoughts. Okay.
5 minutes on the clock. You're up,
I'm up. All right.
Brother Trey.
Hey, like I said, MOT, man, praise be to you, bro, for out there dealing with that. But like I said, I'm not a criminal anymore. And police policy is 99.99999% for criminals, bro. I don't get down with criminals. That's it. So to all the brothers out there that are in the hood that are, doing what they're doing for criminals, and the small, minute percent of dudes that are caught up because there's criminal stuff going around on them, more power to you. Thank you for doing that. But for me, no, I got too many homies that got down like that, and I don't rock with them cats anymore because I done seen the heinous murders they did. Matter of fact, one of those idiots I grew up with that need this kind of hard police policy murdered my daughter's uncle. So I don't even care, man. It's all on you, but thank you for doing that. Like I said, my focus is on these children. Let's start off with Sequoia Turner in Atlanta over the 4th of July weekend, riding in a car with her mom in front of that Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks got killed at. Man, just trying to make a U-turn, and these certain Black Lives Matter thugs blocked off the road. And these idiots fired shots, just opened up on the car. I mean, come on. And they're nowhere to be found right now. Oops, I guess that's, bad police policy that these guys can't be found. Let's go into Hoover, Alabama. Royta DeMarco, Giles, man, caught in the crossfire. We're seeing some idiots in a mall, River Chase Galleria Mall. Man, who does that in a mall? You know what? Man, this is what they said about the young man. He was a smart child who was a jewel, who had dreams of someday entering the music industry. Come on. Devon McNeil, 11, Washington, D.C. Man, he was visiting family in D.C. when 5 idiots began shooting. The kid's grandfather founded the D.C. chapter of the Guardian Angels. All he was doing was just running in the house. The kid's mom had to come out and see that, his grandfather had to come out and see that the kid had been shot in the head. Come on, y'all, an 11-year-old? Like I said, the police brutality fight is not mine. All right. Thank you to guys like M.O.T. But, I'll focus on Natalia Wallace, 7, playing in the Austin neighborhood of Chicago when some idiots got out the car, started blasting. And she was shot. Her dad said kids outside playing, they shouldn't have to worry about guns and people shooting. Just sickening, y'all. We can go on. Let's talk about Jace Young in San Francisco, who was just chilling with his family, watching fireworks in the Bayview neighborhood on 4th of July. Next thing you know, shots pop off, 10:44 p.m. Kid takes a round, dies. Senseless violence, y'all. That's what I said. Police policy ain't mine. This is my fight right here. This is what I want to see end. Let's go back to Father's Day weekend when it was about, 15 about 15 people that got killed. A lot of kids. I can't give you the exact number, but 2 of them, 3-year-old Makai James. This is the one that and this is why, honestly, I left all the nonsense in the manosphere. Makai James, oh my bad. It was 14 people killed, 5 children, and more than 100 people were shot that weekend over 4th of July weekend. It's like Mogadishu, y'all. I ain't even seen stuff like that in Afghanistan. But here, he was in the car with his father in the South Austin neighborhood, another same neighborhood, and the kid's father was the target, and somebody just busted off into the vehicle. And guess what? The dad's not commuting with the dad isn't daggone cooperating with authorities. No snitch policy, with those police, even if your 3-year-old son is killed. Man, miss me with all that stuff. And last but not least, Amaria Jones. Man, 13-year-old girl, she was inside of her house. She was dancing for her mom, showing her latest routine on TikTok when the shot started busting out. Man, all her mom said was that she loved dance and that she wanted to be a lawyer. What can I say? I told you, M.O.T. And like I said, thank you for your efforts, but the fight ain't mine, bro. This is my fight right now.
Okay.
Anyway, y'all, I yield. I'm done.
Go ahead and put your time up, man. X, if you could.
All right. That's going to be time. Let me get 5 minutes on the clock. Yep, time is up. Brother M.O.T, you up.
All right, man. No matter how many instances of black on black crime that you rattle off, those people are victims of crime. That doesn't justify the police treating random citizens because those people died in very specific circumstances. I will not sit by and let you name off all these instances of things that never should have happened so that justify the way police should actually treat random people who are not these actual criminals or these other people. When the police come in contact with people, they don't check their backgrounds. They don't do all this stuff that happens after the fact, after people get shot. You have to realize it's a like why you think there's not a white on white crime or Latino crime? Because crime is committed in close proximity, closer to people who you live around. This is why those other communities isn't like that. So when black conservatives try to talk about black on black crime, the only reason why they want to talk about it is whenever the police do something unjust to people, and they was like, look, don't pay attention to what the government does over here. They get to be unprofessional because you haven't fixed the issues in Chicago or Milwaukee or Atlanta and all that stuff. You have to realize that nobody operates like this. They don't have Native American men who they can put on TV and justify the murder of their own people. They don't have a Candace Owens for Native American people. They don't have it because she probably wouldn't survive not a day going back to that community. So you have to realize all these instances of crime, I'm not responsible for. And the police, outside of this policy that they exercise everywhere, is not because of those crimes that happen. When the police come in contact with people, they're doing it because they got the power to do so. And you don't have the power to do anything else. Of course, this crime is serious, but to say that just because you rattle off those names that the police get to do whatever they want to, it's laughable. How come we can't do both? How come we can make sure that these neighborhoods are safe by getting rid of the policy of feminism that actually cycles back in at a later date these actual kids that are created in these situations? So when you say that you have to talk about the policy that creates this too, because I didn't have them kids and I know you didn't have them. These people are victims of crimes. I'm not even going to name my family members who've been a victim of crime because I know that it's a separate issue rather than bad police policy. Bad police engaging in bad police action should be punished on an individual basis. Just like the people who were involved with these separate crimes, they're also punished on an individual basis. That is exactly how the criminal justice system works. You can't justify the actions that happen against people that look like you and just write them all off as criminals. You can't do that. You can't say that I wouldn't be a victim of that because I don't live there anymore. Well, there's a lot of people who do live there, as the people who you just named. They're victims of crime. But when the police and the government do criminal activity, they should go to jail too. That's what this is about. Holding the police accountable, not try to shift the burden of proof and try to make every black community perfect where no crime goes on before we start going after the government. That's crazy that would be the actual rationale for anybody to do that. But you have to recognize they most times they wouldn't allow white people on TV to come out and say this out loud because they get their ass up out of there because they know what they're trying to say. So you have to recognize, man, you're trying to fix a very complex issue with a very easy remedy, and it does not work. So all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, we got to still work toward that more perfect union. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is focusing on all these issues together and not trying to hope that one cup is going to run over another and another to fix everything on a singular basis. I think we're better than that, and we could concentrate on more things at the same time.
All right. That's going to be time. And this is going to be our last. This is going to be our last rebuttal round before we go into rapid fire. Brother Trey, you are up, sir. Pull the trigger.
That's what's up. So, y'all, I mean, my man M.O.T is laughing at dead kids, and caping for criminals. It is what it is, because we all know the only ones out here that are dealing with bad police policy are criminals. If you in a bad area like I used to live in, you get caught up in the residual effects of bad criminals, and you more than likely got to deal with bad cops. But I'll move on. Y'all, I've been in like I say, move away. The last 2 months, I've been all over this country to beautiful places where there's no issues with cops picking up and delivering, just like my opponent who owns a large fleet, man, of tomorrow. I've been to, like I said, Middlegate, Nevada, Lakeview, Oregon, Bismarck, North Dakota, Amro, Wisconsin, Waterloo, Iowa, Mesa, Arizona, Peru, Indiana, Maxwell, California, Ogden, Utah, Nashville, North Carolina, Osceola, Wisconsin, Fairfield, California, Paris, Tennessee, Marquette, Iowa, Craig, Montana, Roanoke, Virginia, Marshalltown, Iowa, and those are just to name a few. No issues with the cops. And the one issue, I already told y'all how that went down. Whoa, man, guess what? If you remove yourself, there's no issue. Brothers, be true to SYSBM. Follow all 23 tenets, not 22, like my opponent, and just move the fuck away. Don't deal with it. Take your family and move. Guess what? If you want to get your money up, like my opponent, and then come back and help the community by working on policies, sure. But if you choose not to, that's your business. I'm not going to, police you on that. Whatever kind of policing you want to call it, dick policing, whatever. That's your business. You should be able to do what you want to do once you get your paper up. And I salute M.O.T for coming back to the community and wanting to help out. But me, no. I choose to move away from the dysfunction because I was once part of the dysfunction. Now, let me see how much time I got left. Okay. If we want to talk about police, y'all, and I talk about moving away, I've dealt with police while vacationing and being stationed around the world, places like Haiti, DR, South Korea, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Germany, France, Poland. I've even dealt with Afghanistan police. And, some of these places I visited, some of them I was stationed at. Hey, I think you need to mute up, M.O.T. But as far as that goes, that's only a couple countries I've been to. But I'm going to tell you an experience I had in Japan while living in Osaka. Man, I got off the subway late at night. I'm tired after a business meeting. I got on my, my nice dress jeans, sports suit. I'm walking down the street, only black man in the neighborhood I was living in. Man, dude rides by me on a bike. About 6 Japanese cops come run by me, about knock me over, and just tackled the dude and just went at him. And all of a sudden, they turned to me. About 2 of them just started apologizing and bowing profusely to me, apologizing. Man, I just had to scratch my head and just walk away. And, earlier today, I was talking with DK Polyglot, my co-host on my show, just telling me how he's been treated in Yokohama, Japan, living there, how he's been treated by Singapore, by the police over there. Just great, wonderful. It's just we're Americans to them. They don't look at us like, the hard ER word. You know what I'm talking about. I got my man Durkinator down in Comayagua, Honduras. I used to live there. He's treated like nothing but upper crust there, nothing but low respect from the locals, and he's on the board that deals with the Honduran National Police. Currently, he's building a house for his Stargate and his future children. Life is just better on the SYSBM side. I got my man Jerome in El Paso. Man, he loves this open carry here in Texas. He loves Texas so much he's moving to Austin, the outskirts, not where those crazy Antifa cats are at, nowhere in bunk bed land. Man, where else? Hey, you got my man Marco Grande down in Medellin, Colombia. Shout out, Marco. Man, he's living his best life along with other brothers like Ace Live down there, away from the dysfunction of Matrix. I'll be doing business with him in September when the borders open up. Man, then last but not least, I got my former boss in the Army from Afghanistan, Command Sergeant Major Rob. Man, this guy, he went through the same kind of domestic violence BS with an AB dub in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Man, he left her, traveled around the world, multiple combat zones, retired as a Command Sergeant Major. He eventually found a job at the State Department in Sydney, Australia, met his current wife, Stargate. He's since had children and built a new family. He straight up told me he came to Houston for a funeral a couple months ago. And I thanked him for putting all that foot up my ass and what it meant, pushing me to take accountability for my actions. And he's told me how proud of me is how I'm living my life now, not a knucklehead like I used to be. And last thing he told me was travel the world and get away from the dysfunction of the matrix. Best believe I'll follow his advice. Look, y'all, I'm not a criminal anymore. I don't live that life. You don't want it.
All right. That's going to be time. Let me get 5 minutes up on the clock. All right.
I mean, I'm sure I could rattle down the places that I've been, but this debate is about police policy, which he doesn't care about. But at the end of the day, the police policy still affects other people within the country that we live in. Not other countries, because you know how they act professional in other countries. They're still will put it to you, but at the end of the day, they don't treat you how some of the police treat people here. If the only thing we can do is just make sure more police are actual professional in the United States, that's all we have to do here. That's all that I'm lobbying for here. But just saying that it don't affect me because I'm not a criminal anymore. Tamir Rice was not a criminal. John Crawford was not a criminal. Philando Castile was not a criminal. Yet they was treated as they were the moment the police showed up. But see, this is why you got to treat police like professionals in every single situation that they're actually in. So that way we can be able to have that more perfect union and everything else. The policies that I'm talking about is so that way it's for all American citizens across the board. It isn't just for black people, it's for white people and everybody else. Because when police come in contact with people unconstitutionally and potentially turning situations into some things that it shouldn't be, I think that those things should be recorded and that they should be prosecuted on a person by person basis whenever it happens. So you have to understand the bad police policy is going to be fixed with holding the actual police who do things wrong to account for it. You just can't say the only people who are a victim of these things are criminals. End of discussion. That's a very easy and childish way to look at stuff. Of course, you could just move overseas. I can do that. But at the end of the day, I like it here too. And I want the police to act just like they acted when I was in Germany, just like they acted when I was in Italy, and all the other places where I've been, because they have a minimum standard of professionalism. Most police in America do that. There's a very small minority that don't, and those that really don't do it, they have the protection of a union that isn't there to make sure the rest of the citizens are held to any type of standard. They're here to make sure cops get off. Most of those police in Minneapolis, they're now getting reinstated and going back to work. In any other civilized country, nothing like that would happen. So you have to understand, man, that one day one of these monsters could really come after your child. That's why I'm saying we got to stay here and still try to fix these policies. I'm not trying to go down there and really get into the minutia of really trying to help them. No, I want to see them suffer for that. But at the end of the day, there's going to be other people who's going to be getting caught up in this, man. It's easy to say, I'm out, I ain't got to worry about it. But at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter how good you do. You can still be a victim of this stuff just like anybody else. And this is why you fight for the stuff that you actually want to live around. So that way we can be able to move about everywhere, not just other places, but here too. I've been all over the country. I've been through the same similar stuff. And I've been through some bad run ins too. But the bad run ins, I wanted to be treated like I was treated in other circumstances. So you fix the bad police policy by going after the people who do things that they're not supposed to be doing. You have to open up different avenues to be able to report. I'm talking about the police, the good ones. So that way they can report those people. So that way they can already be kicked off the force. So that way these things don't happen. I want to cut these incidents down to zero. I actually want the police to just be in contact with people who are criminals, but we can't do that if the police are walking around with military gear and harassing people. Like, we can't have the police acting unprofessionally as if they're above the law. That's the only thing I'm fighting for here. It's equal protection under the law against those people who call themselves meeting out law enforcement on people who are just normal everyday citizens. It's easy to say I just moved away and the problem's moved away with it. That's not how that works. We have like Dred Scott. Like, it's too many decisions in this country where you can't move away from bad policy that can be emitted on you at any time. I'd rather take them options away from. But leaving the status quo in place, that helps nobody at all. Nobody at all. And these people today can do this stuff to another person today and get away with it. This is why I'm saying that the bad police policies, you have to start creating an avenue so the good police can actually report the bad police. Because the status quo isn't working for everybody equally within this country.
All right. That's going to be time. So we're going to take a short little break and do a little station identification, and then we're going into the rapid fire round. So just hold your horses, folks, for a few moments while we do some station identification around here. Turn shit on. All right, timekeepers. Boy, I don't know how y'all do this shit up every week. I don't know how y'all do it. But what we gonna do it, man? Rapid fire. I know that's what everybody waiting for. So I will see y'all on the other side of these here commercials. All right, all right. I'll be back, y'all.
Peace, everyone. You may have noticed the super chat icon is missing because T.P.O.T has been demonetized. Yes, so if you would like to show your support, we would really appreciate it. If so, you have to use the Cash App or StreamYard donation tab. We won't let the speech police at YouTube stop you from showing your support to T.P.O.T. Remember, StreamYard and Cash App is how you donate to T.P.O.T. Thank you. Thank you.
And one more thing, folks. Kiss my black ass. YouTube. Now back to the show.
You know. Peace, folks. This is Teacher Tanisha. You're listening to the T.P.O.T Media YouTube page. Now back to the show. You know.
One more, y'all. One more. All right. And we are back. We are going fire round as a show. There is no clock. There's no timekeeper. Betas actually go one-on-one, mano. We left off with brother M.O.T, so we'll pick back up with brother pull the trigger. This is rapid fire.
Hey, like I said before, you know, did you start the clock, T.P.O.T? I guess he did. But
All right, well, wait. Hold a second, Trey.
There's no clock.
Like
There's no clock
David
in rapid
Monroe.
fire.
Like unlike you, I'm not here to suck the cop's dick like you do.
Come on. Let's keep it between us, bro. Come on, let's keep it
All right,
between
go ahead,
us.
man. Yeah.
Are we
Fake
good?
conservatives, man. Fake
Are we
conservatives.
good?
Man. Go ahead.
All right. Like I said, man, I have no dog in this fight here. You know, I've lived that life. You know, I've been on the criminal side. And like I said, since the age of 22, my life has been totally different. And out here in Pleasantville, I don't deal with them. And I thank you, like I said, honorably for, you know, wanting to make change. That's it.
But you're conflating your past life as a criminal with the fact that people should go run into this type of behavior. I don't think you understand there's a disconnect between that there.
There's no disconnect for me, bro. I done seen dudes get their ass whipped by the cops and they deserved it.
I don't know, man. It's almost like you come up with these easy ass solutions that really don't require any type of input for you, and all this shit gets to go on in the background, and you just justify deaths. Like I don't understand it.
Why should I care? If I move my family, my kids away, and I'm showing other black men how to get away from the dysfunction, why should I care? It's okay if I don't. It's okay for you to care, but it's not okay for me not to care. Want to show brothers there's a different way.
I'm showing them there's a different way, but they still have to live in these places where they are for the most part. Not everybody is going to live to be able to move out of these communities. I mean, it took me a while to get to where I am. Damn near 35 before I start popping. So I can't, if I would have stayed there, I mean, I would have been like 17 still going through this shit till I was 35. That's another 17 years. So you just can't say, as long as I didn't move out of that situation, that I deserve to be a victim of the situation. I mean, it's okay for you not to care. That's
okay.
fine.
If I had stayed in Virginia, you know, when I turned 22, instead of going in the Army full time, and I went back to my knucklehead homies on the corner, and I went doing the dumb stuff, and I eventually ran to the cops and got my ass whipped for doing some dumb stuff and popping off at the mouth like the cats I run with like to do. Guess what? I would have probably got my ass whooped. And then it's all on me. Self-accountability.
Hold on. Let's stop right there. The police ain't supposed to whoop your motherfucking ass. The police are supposed to take you in. You know, we have like habeas corpus and all that type of shit. Like they ain't supposed to whoop your ass on sight. Don't justify the police bullshit fucking actions, man.
Really?
They're supposed to be able to take you to jail and charge you with a crime.
I got homies who spit on the cops, fought the cops, and did everything in the world, tried to, you know, take their batons and all that, and they got their ass whooped. And I just sat there on the curb,
that is
smiling.
Assault. That is assault.
Guess what? They got what they got. I sat there. I knew what would happen. Come on, man. This was the 90s. And now you can barely get away with that because everybody's got a camera. But back then, you know, the cops could just beat ass regardless. That didn't matter.
And that's why they should have a GoPro Hero 8 on them at all times. If they step out of line, they say some goofy ass shit, and if they commit a crime after that, I want the motherfuckers off the force. That's all I want.
And guess what? It's happening. I got homeboys to the cops. It's happening. No, Mike G, I'm not a thug veteran, bro. I'm just an American patriot, bro. And I love my people. I love brothers, you know, and I want to see them succeed. That's all I am. That's why I'm thankful that M.O.T is doing this. But for me, it's not for me. It's not my fight. Like I said, when that child, which one was it? The 3-year-old in Chicago. That's when I said, screw it. I'm done with the manosphere and all this dating, red pill, dating stuff. And I'm going to focus on this over here. I'm going to call out, like Obsidian calls out black female fuckery. I'm going to call out black male fuckery and anybody else that brings fuckery to our country. And I'm sorry, when I call out the fuckery, 99.9% of the time, it's either some snowflake white folks, some damn niggas on the streets, but it's not the cops. I didn't serve 21 years in the Army with that uniform. My dad didn't serve 27 coming from Mississippi, just like your peoples, to sit up here and let our country be destroyed by idiots And then all of a sudden, let's shift the blame while our country's burning to the cops. Come on.
Dude, we're not shifting the blame to the cops. If criminals do actual criminal activity and they get caught, they go to jail. If cops do criminal activity going above their actual line of duty, they get some time off and they go back to their job. That's what we're talking about here, man. We're talking about an equal protection under the law for the actual people who are supposed to be in charge of the law. You know there is not MPs in the military blowing people away on simple traffic stops.
I'm all
you know
for
that shit ain't happening.
I'm fine, but how many people? Come on, M.O.T. 9 people got blown away last year. You can almost say that all of them were justified. Unarmed black men that did dumb shit, fought the cops, and maybe like 1 or 2, had some shit that wasn't funky going on with it.
I'm not going to justify that because
compared to, you know what I focus on? I focus on how many 7,000 black people were killed by other black people last year. About I don't got the exact numbers.
Black on black crime.
You're damn right, M.O.T. That's my focus. We should
just accept police doing whatever the fuck they want to because of the existence of black on black crime. I have a question.
No. I got a question.
When do we start?
When do we
start focusing on the police?
On black crime. I want to get rid of.
We can focus on both. We can focus on both.
You got one, and I got the other. Boom. There we go. We agree. I focus on child dying at the hands of black on black murders, and you focus on the cops. So we agree. We can fight 2 different fights.
Yeah, but you have to realize that you're only talking about black on black crime as a issue when we're talking about bad police policy.
Here's the thing, M.O.T. If we got rid of 99% of the black on black crime, we wouldn't deal with the bad cops, bro. I'm with this. I'm just like you.
So you're saying that all black on black crime has to end before we start focusing on the police.
Let's go to the court. Let's go to the source, M.O.T. Let's take it back to 1960 when 80% of black households were 2-parent homes. We got that great deal handed to us by LBJ, and all these freaking, chicks in the hood decided, let's be single moms and let's raise these little terrorists out here to terrorize these streets. It's been going on for almost 50 years now. And guess what? We're dealing with the byproduct of it. We can go on World Star, Facebook, Twitter right now and see the craziness going on. And the bad part is right now they're sitting right along Antifa and certain Black Lives Matter destroying our streets. That is what I want to get rid of. M.O.T. I done seen them, bro. Like you, I've been all over this country.
Not the FBI who's actually looking for them. But all right, here's the thing, man. It looks incredibly bad when we have to focus. Like, dude, do you know what the white on white crime statistics are in West Virginia?
I don't care. I'm focused on black crime, my people.
They're just here. They don't have white people coming on TV trying to focus on white crime. When a cop steps out of fucking line against a community, they rise up and they make sure, even though they're still focusing on the white on white crime issue, that they get rid of the criminal cops at the same time.
Well, here, I'll tell you about white people, M.O.T., and what I've noticed since I've walked away is that white people, not even white people, Dominicans, my girl family, they hold their criminals accountable and they don't cape for them. They don't hold 6 funerals and put them in a gold casket in front of 60,000 people. They don't do that in those communities. That's only us. Now, like David Monroe told you the other day, me and him, we're more about the community because we're the only ones talking about black on black crime.
David Monroe is a piece of shit.
You're worried about the cops. You're worried about the cops.
Yes, I'm worried about them because they're public officials.
That 0.0001%. That's what you're worried about.
Yes.
About these kids dying. How many times do I got to say her name?
How could you possibly control that? How could you possibly control that in those areas?
You fucking bring the cops down on those idiots sitting outside that Wendy's that was burned down. That was burned down not by that man's wife, Rayshard Turner's wife, but by his Becky girlfriend. Now, come on now. Speaking of that, George Floyd and freaking Rayshard Brooks had Becky girlfriends and wives and ABW wives somewhere else. And y'all out there caping for them? No, y'all out there caping for them. Y'all out there caping for them. It is because you're worried about bad police policy.
You want to shove black people in the way every time we want to hold the police accountable for the shit that they do. You want to start focusing on some random fucking black person somewhere.
Hey, remove yourself. If it's only the Pookies and the cops, guess what? Darwin can take its place. If all the good thinking black men remove themselves from these situations and it's just the Pookies, guess what? And the cops, all the Pookies and cops will go to jail, and you can fill thousands of bunk beds with all these single ABWs and their little terrorist kids. That's how it is.
Well, the discussion is about how do we get rid of bad police policy. So how do you get rid of bad police
I just told you, remove yourself from the situation.
Remove yourself.
Yep. Okay, so you care about Pookie that much, huh? I mean, are you going to start putting your bunk beds in jail?
That's not what I said.
No, are you going to put the bunk beds in the jails?
That's not what I said.
Bunk beds for bad cops and bunk beds for Pookies.
That's not what I said.
I'm just saying.
That's
all I've heard from you since I've been up here. Bunk beds for bad cops and bunk beds for Pookie.
No. I've never said that.
And bunk beds for black conservatives. Us coons.
I've never said that.
Because being hard on black and black crime, that's bad.
I never said that.
Come on,
never said
M.O.T.
that. You're just making shit up now. I never
really?
said that.
You said it.
I've never said that specifically.
You want all these ABWs causing all this harm and bunk beds. You want to fill up bunk beds.
I've never said that. I've never said that.
You never said you want to fill up bunk beds. Just load them up in trucks, invest in them, and boom, bunk bed stocks will be popping. Man, your other avatar is a bunk bed.
Oh my God!
I agree. Fill those bunk beds with bad cops and Pookies.
And like, who the fuck said pill with Pookies and fucking cops? Like, dude, this is what I'm talking about.
Other bunk beds.
Oh my God! Like, dude, this is not even what the policy is about.
Remove yourself.
It's not.
And you don't have to do a policy. Have you dealt? When's the last time you dealt with bad police policy, M.O.T? Like I said, you're the most successful dude in the manosphere.
Wait. I'll tell you. 2 weeks ago, actually 4 weeks ago, I was coming into Minnesota, and the cop decided that I was going to take a 34-hour reset because he couldn't fucking count because I had an ELD, and this motherfucker decided that I was going to be pulled over on the side of the road, and I was going to be sitting at a fucking goddamn way station for 34 fucking hours. You know what we did? We both called the fucking ELD provider. The ELD provider and the supervisor provided the Minnesota state trooper at the Fargo, North Dakota fucking line with the actual printout of what the cop was reading, and the cop still said, you know what? You still got a 34-hour reset. Talk to the fucking head guy of the fucking shit. Just like it's out of his fucking hands. So what I'm saying is, I didn't have to be a criminal to witness some shit like that. I got no fucking
where's
recourse.
The policy issue on that?
Where's the policy? I have no recourse against somebody who would do that shit to me because he didn't write a ticket.
Okay. Like, I have no recourse that I have to carry all this paperwork on me all the time when I drive because I cross the border every week. I have no recourse. It's not policy, M.O.T. You dealt with one idiot cop. It didn't have to do with you were black, you know.
Why don't we get rid of all like Trey? We're trying to get rid of all idiot cops. If you don't understand what
like I said, fill them in those bunk beds. You wanna sell bunk beds.
Here we go with the bunk beds.
Put them next to Pookie and let Darwin run its course.
Here we go.
I'm using your own words, M.O.T.
No, you're not. You're using my own words against something that I've never said, and you keep fucking doing it.
Hey, bad cops and bunk beds. I'm with it, y'all.
Look, listen, man. The bad cops deserve to be off the streets. They go to black conservative pieces of shit to make their fucking points for them because all they do is focus on black.
Okay, really? Let me see. Okay, let's start about. Let's talk about. We're not talking about politics. Let's talk about conservatives. You know, let's see. Because I used to be a moderate. I used to be a moderate. Before that, I was a liberal snowflake.
Whenever it's time to hold the government accountable, the black conservative pieces of shit come out of here and want to.
Anti-abortion.
That's exactly
anti-abortion,
what
not killing black babies.
Black on black
come
crime.
on, not killing black babies. Come on, law and order, doing what's right. Come on, Second Amendment. I want to hold all my guns. T.P.O.T. was that too?
He's not here. I don't.
Okay. But look, man, I want to hold all my guns, man. I don't want regulation. Okay. You stated the other day you want regulation. I want less.
No, I want more. So when you justify somebody dying,
fight. You want more regulated
get the same
I want
crime
better cops and less regulation
person got. Okay, you say it's not your fight. I want better cops, and you say now that you're for better cops. How are we gonna get there if we don't change these policies?
Guess what? If you take all the good
that you don't care about, that you don't care about.
This not happens
Okay.
in white communities, MOT, because communities that I mentioned before, like Amro, Wisconsin, there's no crime basically. So if there is a bad cop, he sticks out like a daggone freaking a
A
rainbow
bad
in
cop
Idaho.
knows not to do that shit against
Stick
white
out.
people because there's a gang of
Oh my God!
consequences
Come on,
associated with it,
MOT.
and
White
it's not
people,
associated when he
really,
does this shit against black people.
really, MOT,
Like,
Boston. Let's talk about. I
how
got
do you?
homeboys in Boston, predominantly white, some knucklehead, freaking white, freaking thuggos that live in Boston, predominantly, and they deal with corrupt police all the time. Come on, we just had all kinds of cases. What was that dude's gangster's name that ended up dying? He was being supported by corrupt cops, and that was against white people. But guess what? They were all criminals. All criminals. So
right.
bad cops and criminals. Guess what?
Okay,
Good
so
people, remove yourself.
only bad cops exist because black on black crime exists. That would have to be what you were actually saying.
Nope, I'm not saying that.
I don't
No,
want to put words in your mouth.
In the black community here, you have to.
Okay.
There's tougher policing because there's animals out there. There's animals that like to set 9-year-old boys like Tyshawn Lee on fire. You know what? Guess what? If you were a cop, my father was a cop. I wonder what the emotions running through you all would have been coming to that scene with a 9-year-old boy that's been burned up and shot by some gangbangers. Man, you know what? That'll probably cause.
I would no. Before you say something crazy, I still would have acquitted myself like a fucking professional, and I would have not went there and tried to mow somebody the fuck down.
Why would you mow somebody down? I didn't say mow somebody down.
I'm just telling you straight up.
When you got to deal with animals, and there's animals.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You got all these good cops trying to fight the good fight. How easy is it for the bad cops to blend in? Come on, tell me how easy.
Okay, I got a question here. M.O.T. I'm sorry, BMT. Once the panel opens, could you come to the panel so that way we can see the difference between a real conservative?
Oh my God! Okay, now liberal
not a conservative. No, you're not liberal. You're not conservative. You just don't give a fuck about none of this shit.
You know what? You can't decide, M.O.T. who's conservative and who's more conservative. Like I said,
I decide who's a piece of shit and who ain't a piece of shit.
You don't decide
based on what they say.
Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. Dude, at the end of the day, this is a policy discussion about getting rid of bad cops.
I thank you for wanting to deal with it. I say remove yourselves, black men. 2 different solutions. And you know what? Come on, Mike V. I'm talking about myself and Dave Monroe included. We're talking the other day about being leaders, doing stuff about what's going on in the black community. You want to sit up here and talk about black leadership when we got idiots like Keisha Lance Bottoms blaming what happened to that little girl on President Trump versus taking any personal accountability. Lori Lightfoot in Chicago blaming what happened to those kids in Chicago for the president. Come on. None of these.
Here we go. Always Chicago and black on black crime when it's time to hold white motherfuckers responsible.
Hold them accountable. That's your job.
And that's what black. That's what these type of black conservatives are here for.
M.O.T. Are you the new Taz? 2.0 M.O.T. Are you freaking?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Here you go. Here you go with your ad hominem fucking motor mouth shit. So what else you want to say? What else you want to put on me?
Hey, you right at DMT.
What else you want to put on me? What else you want to put on me?
Versus M.O.T.
What else you want to put on me?
23 minutes. It's all good, M.O.T. If you want to live 22 out of the 23, and you know which one you ain't living up to, it's all good.
Okay, which one am I not living up to?
Remove yourself from the dysfunction completely.
You think I have not removed myself from the dysfunction? Like, what makes you think that?
Because you're caping for daggone criminals and daggone.
I'm not caping for criminals.
Okay, who deals with bad cops? Who deals with bad cops? 99.999% of the time.
Oh my God!
I can tell you, the percentage is actually 0.0000.
No, dude. I mean, you're out of your mind, dude.
Cops. Now, out of that,
you're out of your mind, dude.
How many of them are bad? I got the numbers. You can pull up the numbers right now,
dude. Listen,
so now
that doesn't give that. No, I'm not. This is shit. This is shit that you're saying because you can't have a conversation about the actual issue of police. I want them all. I want them all to be professional across the board. Every
Walk
time
away.
we try to hold them responsible, you want to walk away. You don't want to hold these motherfuckers responsible.
When you
And
walk
when it
away,
comes close
those
to
cops
doing
stick out
so,
like a sore
black on
thumb.
black crime. Black on black crime is the reason why we
They
can't
stick
hold
out
white
like a
cops
sore thumb.
responsible. Oh my God.
When you walk away,
Yeah.
good, free thinking
Okay.
black man like M.O.T did, guess what? The
Does
bad cops
anybody
get
in the chat think that I'm pro-criminal? Could you
we think
please
you're
sound off,
pro-black
please?
now. You ain't
No,
SYSPM.
no, I'm not
You might as well
pro-black
move
either.
down to Mexico
Like,
and be
dude,
with
like
the
this
B1
dude,
network.
like, wow, I'm B1 now. Like, dude, like this is the lunatic shit that you have to go through whenever you got somebody who don't want to answer simple questions about the actual issue.
Walk away.
Black on black crime has nothing to do
Really?
with white
Really?
cops killing
guess
motherfuckers for
what?
no reason.
Okay,
It doesn't.
M.O.T, do I need to pull up pictures? No, I don't want to get T.P.O.T freaking banned, but I could pull up pictures of some of these murder victims. And guess what? When you got good cops dealing with this on a daily, how easy do you think it is for bad cops to blend in? Since you want to talk policy, you've got to remove that craziness, that insanity, what's going on in these hoods before you can even start pointing these guys out. Because Derek Chauvin, he went 18 years with, 13 years with 18 complaints against him. He slid through the system because Minneapolis is freaking ran like Mogadishu, Somalia. That's why Derek Chauvin was able to float through.
Derek Chauvin, like what city are we talking about?
Now M.O.T doesn't even know.
I don't know. I don't know.
And we're having the most famous police officer in 2020, the same man who freaking caused all these riots and the destruction of our communities, the burning of our cities, the toppling of our monuments, our great, not these Confederate ones, but the real monuments of black people, because of Derek Chauvin. And my opponent, M.O.T, man, tomorrow, my homeboy, you don't even know who he is. Well, somebody enlighten M.O.T. And Nagone, I'm telling you how to deal with policy. Not sit there and be a victim like you, Nagone, but daggone to come out and just walk away. Now, come on, somebody enlighten M.O.T.
So now Nagone 11 is a victim too. Wow.
Hey, he spits victim mentality. I don't.
Wow. All right, we're done. You lost this because you can't debate the actual topic.
Okay.
You don't even care about the topic to debate it.
What did I say? Walk away.
You don't even care about the topic
Walk
to debate
away,
it.
and they stick out.
Okay.
What do you want me to sit
Why
up there
did you
and
show up to the debate? Why did you show up to the debate?
I told you the other day.
I put
it on my
Why did you show
tab.
up
I
to
put it
a
on my
debate?
community tab. There is no debate. Did you read my community tab?
No, I did not.
Okay, I said there will be no debate.
If that was the
this.
case,
this is not my fight.
If that was the case, why did you show up here?
Hey,
you could have canceled.
My homeboy X. You know what? I hold my commitments.
You could have canceled.
Personal accountability. Last week, thank you, for postponing to this week. My daughter had a beautiful wedding, even though it was COVID related. We all had to wear masks, and it was only 4 of us in there. But I thank you and T.P.O.T for letting it happen. And then we can postpone it to this week. I appreciate it,
dude. You didn't answer a single. You didn't come up with a single policy other than just walk away.
You walk away, and then what issue?
No, listen. It's a national policy. It's a national policy. It's a national policy. It's a national policy.
Of black men deal with that.
It's a national policy. It's a national policy.
Let me run the numbers, M.O.T. I'm gonna run the numbers.
I know what the numbers are. I want them to be 100% actual professional motherfuckers. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. I want there to be 100% professional motherfuckers on the job. That's my point here.
Let me see,
I don't want there to be any of this to be that because there's black on black crime exists. I don't want there to be unprofessional police officers existing. And you can't just say, well, it's just criminals who deal with them. No, dude, like you can't.
Out of 22 million brothers, 132, according to statistics, ran into police-related issues. Now, of those issues, last year only 9 were unarmed. The other ones were just criminals. And of those 9, there were, of those 9, they did other dumb stuff to end up with bad police policy.
Stop right there. Trey. You can't justify bad police behavior because this motherfucker got a criminal background. That's what justify means. That's exactly what justify means.
Move away so they stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yep. Right. Move away. Well, just like you did, M.O.T.
Moving away, I still come in contact with.
Oh, you're not M.O.T. When the last time you got pulled out your truck and beat on? When the last time you got stopped and popped off at the cops and ended up dealing with stuff? You haven't.
Like Trey, listen. That ain't the beginning and end and be all of all unprofessional police behavior. It's not that. You want to take it all the way to the dramatic end, but there's a lot of shit in between that is also unprofessional police behavior that you don't want to even address.
And what of that?
You want to address this?
As a free-thinking black man, 22 out of 23 SYSBN type, what part of those have you dealt with besides getting stopped by a freaking cop about an ELD? And that had nothing to do with race because my stepson went through the same thing. He's Dominican.
Trey, I'm actually an SYSBM Knight, by the way.
So, like I said, 22 out of 23.
Yeah, I've already moved from that, but I still want to live around good shit, and I want unprofessional people to go to jail. Your point of view is those unprofessional people only deal with cop most of the time, so let's let these motherfuckers exist. I don't want them existing.
I didn't say let them exist. I said when you move away, they will stick out like a sore thumb. And guess what? Then they'll be reported because I got police officer friends and family members still, and they report.
Of course I do. I got the same thing.
Okay, then.
They know if they can't report those cops, they get fucking fired the moment they fucking do.
Guess what? Hey, guess what? Are you going to stand on your square, or are you just going to say nothing's going to happen?
The Prophet of Thought series actually interviewed a lady from Buffalo who actually was fired from her job from actually either stopping or choking or actually reporting the shit.
She stood on the square. Blessed be to that sister right there. We got a good sister out there.
What about the people who are still at work in Buffalo?
Percentage. You
don't even care.
Buffalo is a freaking cold ass Stragville nightmare of an inner city. You know that. You done picked up and
Okay.
Guess what? The good cops.
Because the existence of black criminals, we gotta have bad cops.
No, you don't. But guess what? Guess what? You remove yourself from it. Good free-thinking black men remove yourself from the equation.
Okay. Did those children who end up dying anyway, did they not move far enough away from it?
They died from other black people. And guess what? Those same kids you were laughing at,
they sure did.
You were laughing about,
I wasn't laughing at those kids. I was laughing at the fact that you went to black on black crime rather than focusing on the fucking issue.
Black on children crime.
It doesn't matter. It was a conversation about. It was a conversation
because they did.
What are you talking about, bunk beds?
Those kids can't fill up the bunk beds because they dead, M.O.T.
I mean, man, but this dude hears dead people everywhere. What are you talking about? You keep bringing up bunk beds out of context.
I'm bringing up children.
Like, dude, listen. You're bringing it up out of context.
What did I tell you?
Bringing it up out of context.
Kids and brothers walking away.
No,
and that's my solution.
You're bringing up the shit out of context.
It is.
You did not come to this debate to talk about the policy.
I told you.
You came to this debate to talk about black on black crime rather than the police policy.
I didn't say anything about black on black crime.
That's exactly what you did.
I said about
you
kids.
You didn't say nothing about black on black crime, motherfucker. That's what you did the same 5 minutes. Oh, come on, dude.
Black
no, we're done.
Other minority children being killed.
We're done. No. I'm gonna walk away from this conversation because you just said that you didn't talk about black on black crime.
And just log off.
Like, come on.
I said,
dude.
Black children and
other minorities. The only thing you're gonna do is lie about everything that you just said in this entire debate.
Now you want to go that route, M.O.T. Oh, you triggered.
This is crazy.
That's right, David Monroe. He's triggered.
Oh, I'm triggered now. I'm triggered now. I'm triggered now. No, it is.
On my channel anytime. I won't kick you off. You can come up there.
Yeah, no, because you don't want to discuss history.
M.O.T. because you're a racist.
I don't.
Black people. You don't like black conservatives, M.O.T. You think black conservatives are coons. Guess what?
Yes, I think they should die. I want to start shooting some.
You're a racist. You're a racist. You might as well be a Klan member.
I'm a racist. I'm a racist against black conservatives.
The legacy of our people to Mississippi, M.O.T.
No, I'm not.
You're disrespecting the legacy of my great-great-grandfather.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I guarantee you, my grandfather was not like these motherfuckers who were
I hope
black
he wasn't like
conservatives
you.
in this space.
Guess what? Your grandfather brought you up on the conservative values.
Oh my God!
Did they not,
dude?
Did they not,
Trey?
Did they not? Did they bring you up on the conservative?
If you gonna keep putting words in my mouth, man, like this shit's over.
Hey, you can end it right now, M.O.T. You can log on.
No,
Hey, BMT, you done, man. M.O.T. is shooting.
we,
Watch out, you're gonna get sniped. Hey, all coons better start no
he
crawling.
did. That's
Better
changed.
start no crawling.
What did Trey do? Thank you. He put
Better
all this
start no
words in my
crawling,
mouth
y'all.
on what bunk beds means when it had one specific fucking meaning, man.
Hey,
This is what happens when you invite people
were
to
conservative.
debates
Guess
who
what? There was
don't want to
80%,
debate the actual
80%,
issue. They don't want
80%
to debate the issue.
family homes. You didn't have. Guess what? We thrived as a community. Hold up, Mike V asked me the other day, when was America great? 1960. The black family was way better. The black family was great then, and we had to deal with real bad police policy, real serious bad police policy. So come on, no,
you got to be able to come to debates and actually debate the actual.
But what did I tell you, M.O.T?
Again, there's a real debate.
Jump, M.O.T. When I told you I'm not debating.
Walk away is not a debate tactic. It's
M.O.T.
not even a legitimate form of debate.
Had a dialogue.
It's not. It's not.
I'm not going to debate police policy when there's kids dying in our streets. That's where I draw the line.
So you want all black on black crime
kids
cured before we can talk about. It doesn't even matter. People. It doesn't matter. People.
Bad
cops. You don't have a dog in the fight now. You don't have a dog in the fight now.
Do I need to go over my intro again? I said I have no dog in this.
You don't.
Go to my YouTube page, my community tab. It says right there, I have no debate in this. This one is yours.
Why did you show up?
Thank you.
Why did you show up?
Because I made a commitment. I hold myself personally accountable. Like you told me the other night when you were saying, well, my ex AB Dub had me locked up. It was her fault. No, it was my fault because I stayed there. And any of those criminal activities I did before 22, if I would have got my ass handed to me, it would have been on me, not anybody else. Because
I actually would have wanted you to go to court and actually wanted you to get tried for a crime. And if we're going to jail, I wanted you to do that. I don't want unconstitutional policing, man. I just don't want that happening.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is not what it is. There's laws in this country. There's habeas corpus. It doesn't matter. I still want you to go through the actual court system. I don't want you getting killed by a fucking cop. Justly or unjustly, I still want you to go to court.
Guess what? Is a corrupt cop a cop that beats somebody's ass for fighting with him? If you fight with a cop and you get your ass whipped by a cop, is that cop corrupt or is he defending himself?
If he's defending himself, that's totally different than being corrupt. You know that's the case.
Boom. And guess what?
You know that's the case.
I've seen many a corrupt cop in Portsmouth, Virginia go down where I'm from. And this is that late 80s and 90s. M.O.T. My dad's good friend. My dad was a cop. His best friend was a cop there, whose son was my brother's best friend, and he was the head of the detective unit in the Portsmouth police. He put many a bad cop down. It happens. But guess what?
Good for him.
Some slip through the cracks. And when you look
what
at
I'm saying is we are trying to get rid of both of those things.
And I'm cool with that. You get rid of the bad cops. I want to work to prevent more of these kids from dying. That's it.
Okay, let's get rid of feminism. That's the only way to do it.
We've agreed on that for how long have I known you, M.O.T? We've agreed on that for the longest.
But you're still trying to make it look
take back my shout out to you, Third War Colombian. I gave you a shout out at the beginning. I'll take it back.
All right. That is going to end the rapid fire round. So now we're going to move into closing arguments. Let me put 7 minutes on the clock.
I don't need 7
you do.
But all right.
All right. Closing arguments. Brother M.O.T, you are up, sir.
So you have to understand at the end of the day, the existence of crime does not equal you get to have bad cops out there who do unconstitutional shit. This policy was about how to get rid of bad cops. Trey said, walk away. That's not how you get rid of bad cops. People couldn't walk away from Brown v. Board of Education. People couldn't walk away from Dred Scott. People couldn't walk away from slavery. People couldn't walk away from fucking Jim Crow. Moving away from bad policy without correcting the goddamn policy of these people existing changes nothing. So it's okay that he has nothing to debate. It's okay that he made bunk beds mean 5 different things that I've never said. So it's like, at the end of the day, if they don't want to debate the actual issue and topic, you got to let them go. Because at the end of the day, as you keep inviting them to the debate, the only thing they're gonna do is overturn chairs and just not even try to debate the actual topic and issue that he came up here to debate. For me personally, I want public officials to be held accountable when they step out of line. Nowhere in my statement did I say that I want these kids to be dead and those criminals to still be on the street. We can do both. But when you try to concentrate over one over the other, like, no, we can't hold these police responsible because there's black on black crime and there's black on kid crime. And until you solve that at 100%, we're not going to focus on these bad police officers. I think that is wildly fucking insane to even mention or even say. You have to understand that you also have a responsibility inside the society to show up, to be involved, and to make sure that these policies of these people existing and these people are born in stop happening. I've done my walk away portion with not sticking my dick into and not even fucking around with these fucking monsters out here. There's nothing they can fucking tell me that's any different than I know you're here to ruin my fucking life. I already know that. So it's like, look, I've already done all the 23 things for the most part. It's just that I want these bad cops to fucking suffer and pay whenever they step out of line too. That's a bridge too far for some people because they think that in order for us to hold the government responsible, we have to shut down all manners of crime, period, no matter what. In order to do that, I think that's laughable. I think that's crazy. And there's no way we can do that. There's no way that we can continue to keep having these conversations without focusing on policy. There's a reason why ABL don't talk about policy. There's a reason why Candace Owens don't talk about policy. There's a reason why Officer Tatum don't talk about policy. There's a reason why Larry Elder don't talk about policy. There's a reason why Herman Cain don't talk about policy, because all these people are the same exact clone. They're just there to bring up black on black crime and other stupid shit whenever it comes time to hold the government responsible. And that's what most of this neo-black conservatism is about. The black conservatives I know, Mr. Research, Shirley Hussar, BMT, they love talking about policies and trying to fix shit. But there's a lot of people out here who ain't trying to fix a motherfucking thing, but they want to be part of the conversation when it comes to time to fixing shit. I say that we treat these individuals like we treat these save the community motherfuckers who are broke as shit. Just fucking disregard them. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be that many people you're going to save any fucking way. It's just not going to be that many. So as long as you get your shit straight within your life and still focus on making sure these motherfuckers pay whenever they step out of line as public officials, remember, they work for you. Hell yeah, you get to hold these motherfuckers accountable and responsible. Because here's the thing. You have a right to life just like everybody else does. There's a couple of these cases that we've seen where the police still didn't even try to hold their officers responsible, and the actual citizens wasn't even armed or wasn't even looking at them. So are we just to disregard those people too? And just skip right to black on black crime as the reason why we can't focus on this? Like, none of this stuff is really all that difficult or hard. No, and you have to understand that, listen, most of these people don't want change because the system is okay the way it is for a lot of people. It's not okay with me, some of the shit that I see going on out here. And this is why I say you still have to show up to make a fucking difference. And you still have to discuss these policies. You just can't be conservative because you don't give a fuck. You actually have to defend the actual conservative fucking track record and just can't say that I'm a one issue voter. Like, again, you have to be able to own what you're talking about here. Because none of this stuff is actually all that hard once you break it down into digestible bites and look at history the way it's supposed to be looked at. Most of this stuff here doesn't take place in other countries. It don't, because they decided to hold their women and their public officials responsible. They didn't just let them run all over people and do all this other crazy shit. You don't see this shit in Germany. You don't see Polizei acting like that toward people. Can they put that oak on your head? Yes, they can. Do they do it out of spite? No, they don't. Public officials are supposed to be professional at work. That's all I got to say, man. I want to thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all so much for y'all time. And we got to be better black men out here, because there's a lot more separation that needs to happen before we can go forward. Thanks so much for having me on, X. Thanks so much for coming through, Trey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and reset the clock. 7 minutes. All right. Brother Trey, you are up, sir.
All right. I want to thank you, X, for, allowing me another week to do this. I want to thank you, Man Tomorrow, for coming up here and everybody in the chat. All right. No beef with anybody. We differ, y'all. We got SYSBM cast to the liberal. We got some are conservative. We got, black people that, both ways that are moderates, Republicans, Democrats. It is what it is. We're all brothers at the end of the day. As the fellas, we just want to see everybody else succeed. But as far as tonight, like I said, this is Man of Tomorrow's fight. I don't have any dog in the bad police policy fight. You know what? And however, when the police concerned, I'm focused on the good policing that will prevent the senseless murders in our inner cities. Let's stand behind the 99% of good cops that risk their lives daily so we can be at ease. When you remove yourself from the dysfunction, as I mentioned before, you'll notice the bad police policy doesn't exist in your life. Out here in Pleasantville, man, I'm more concerned about walking my dogs and my grass being properly irrigated in the house I'm building. There's hundreds of thousands of black men living their SYSBM life around the world, American that is, and they aren't concerned about the police. Reason being, they're good, law-abiding citizens who enjoy the American dream. You can't force them to go back to whatever situation they came from and say, oh, we got to look at police brutality or bad policing. No, it's not their fight. Just like it's y'all fight, it's not theirs. But on a serious note, y'all, one child's murder is too many. That's my reason for walking away. We're seeing them every week, not in the onesies and twosies, but in double digits. I can't let that go. And for that reason alone, I've completely walked away from liberal snowflake politics and feelings. I was a moderate, y'all. I wasn't a conservative. Well, I didn't really lean towards my conservative values, even though I was brought up on them. I was middle of the road. But these kids getting killed? Nah. And certain Black Lives Matter and Antifa destroying our country, buildings burned and looted, statues of Union Civil War heroes, our nation's founder, abolitionists, and even Frederick Douglass are being destroyed. Man, our president warned us 3 years ago this would happen if we negotiate with terrorists. But anyway, man, we even have black businesses being destroyed, and let's talk about good police. We saw David Dorn, a 77-year-old grandfather, murdered by a daggone Pookie who was out because of bad police policy. And that police policy was that they let this dude out when he committed armed robbery. He violated that freaking probation or parole twice, and they still let him out. And that third time they let him out, these crazy riots took place, and he killed David Dorn. That's bad police policy for you. You know what? I stood by before and attributed all the insanity to politics and divisive leftist agenda, and I stood silent because it wasn't my concern. But when all these kids just kept getting killed and all I kept seeing over and over were dead kids, you know what? That's when I had to step in and say, look, this is my fight right here. I don't want to see another child die, and I'll do everything in my power that I can to prevent it. And for those that want to call myself and other, real conservatives, coons, salad, or bootlickers, because we call out black on black murders of children. I have 2 words, F you. I'll keep it PG because, this is X's channel. I draw the line at children, y'all. Police the coons, police the thugs, police the criminals, responsible. Then come talk to me about bad policy. Black people would rather sit up here and talk about black people, which isn't in the top 100 problems facing the black Americans. It's just more of the same victimhood over and over again, handout mentality that we've had since the New Deal in the 30s when FDR gave it to us and handed the baton off to daggone freaking LBJ. As long as we're talking about victimhood versus solutions, more black children will die in the streets. You know, let's look at the men out there that have benefited greatly from walking away from the dysfunction besides myself. They include guys like Supreme King Coon, Mad Bus Driver X, Kitty Yockety Jones, DK Polyglot, Sigma Jones, O'Shea Duke Jackson over there in Africa, Mumia Obsidian Ali, who don't come out his Philadelphia apartment, and the most successful of all, I'll say it again, the most successful of all these men that have walked away is Man of Tomorrow. Less police on the streets, more police defunded, which is what everybody really wants, not bad policy being removed, is beneficial to M.O.T's pockets. If y'all listen to the police brutality mess, guess what? The ones he's spitting, he'll be able to fill his bunk beds to capacity with single moms, cat women, pookies, and the Derek Chauvins of the world. Too bad my opponent had no clue who Derek Chauvin was. Anyways, I yield. Salute. Peace out, everybody.
Yeah. You have to understand, Trey, that they're not going to let these people solve.
That's it, man.
They're not going to let them solve.
Yielding this time.
Okay, all right. All with the shots. All with the ad hominem. Can't even stay on topic. You think you slick, don't you?
All right. Y'all know what we're going to do now, folks. If you believe Brother Trey won the debate, put a T in the chat. If you believe Brother M.O.T won the debate, put an M in the chat. A T in the chat for Brother Trey, and M in the chat for Brother M.O.T. Come on, you slow typing Negroes.
Had to vote for myself first.
And only vote once, God damn it.
Oh, please don't say that in front of Trey.
M T T M, another M, another T, another T, another
like I
T.
say, X, man, you can concede this to M.O.T. Like I said, this wasn't my debate. You can have it, M.O.T.
No,
but why you show up to a debate then? Like, why you show up to debate the issue if you don't care?
I told you, M.O.T. Personal accountability, bro.
Personal accountability. So you show up to the debate and not debate the actual issue at hand.
I told you. Go to my community.
Turn my catchphrase into like 30 different things. Like, come on, man.
It is what it is. It benefits you. You Borgin, M.O.T. Hey, if you can hear me, M.O.T. Borgin, bro.
What I'm saying is that women. Oh shit!
It's looking like M.O.T. Yep, it's looking like the M's have it. Yeah, we're going to call this one for Brother M.O.T. It's looking like the M's have it.
Hey, Doug, man, we ain't going nowhere, bro. I mean, Trump's going to win by a landslide, so they know where to go.
Yeah, we're going to call this one for Brother M.O.T.
But like I said, man, I would have conceded to you anyway, M.O.T. There was no vote needed, man. Like I said, this ain't my fight, bro. And I salute you for wanting to, do things for it, but I don't.
All right. I don't know what y'all look like on time. What you look like on time, Brother Trey, Brother M.O.T. What you look like on time?
Man, I got another hour, bro.
Okay. What you look like on time, Brother M.O.T.?
So I'm sliding through these. Well, I gotta be driving all night, so I'm still in the.
Okay.
No, just 40 and I'll stop talking. Like Trey did.
Well, this is we usually do question and answer this part of the debate. So
sure.
y'all know what it is. If you want to ask the debaters questions, those questions must be cash apped.
Man, here come the ad hominems from the gone, the king of victimhood. Man, we got to get the police out on the streets. They killing us out here. Man, we can't
that's my
survive.
boy right there,
we
man.
can't do any better out here. It's so hard for us. The policies are against us. That's Nagone every time he come up. It's against us. I'm SYSBM, but I want to cry about everything. Oh.
Who, Nagone? Nagone?
Like,
Nagone
you can't be dissing on Nagone like that, man. Nagone don't be saying that type of shit. Come on.
Brother, I'm joking, man. I'm just playing around. But no, we got our differences, Nagone. But mad respect. Just like I go in on BMT, with his fake conservativeness.
Come on, shoot some questions up here. I hate that they done took the super chat, y'all, because y'all know we used to do the super chat on the questions, but they done demonetized my shit. So we can't do that anymore, and I don't think I'm going to get it back till like August, because they told me I can't reapply till after July 31st, and they took my shit for some stupid shit, y'all. They took it on some old... Yeah, they took it for some shit I did back in 2017. Like, I'm like, really, man? But they've been fucking with me. They've been fucking with me on my old videos. They haven't fucked with me anything that I've done in the last 2 years. Every video they fuck with me about, they have been fucking with me about videos from 2015, 2016, 2017. Yeah. They haven't fucked with none of my recent shit. Well, I had one call, So You Hate White People. They struck me with that one. Then they took down the one. I had one called Unapologetically Man, which I did in 2015. They took that down. Let me see what else. They took one down. What's the other one? I can't remember. They took like 5 of my shits down, man. They took one of those videos that I had with the Unicorn 4. They took that down. Trying to think what else. I had one called Police Response and Threat Assessment. They took that down. And now mind you, all these videos are old now. These videos are videos that I did in like 2015, 2016. They haven't fucked with none of my new shit. The shit that I've done in the last 2 years, not a problem. They are digging through the crates. I had one called Nigga Island. They took they fucking they gave me a strike for that one, and they gave me a strike. This was a while back. They gave me a strike for because I had another one called You Might Be a Nigger, and they took that one down too. So yeah, they been fuck with me, man. Old shit though. These videos are old though, brother M.O.T.
I mean, so they're just coming back and just striking you in kind of repeated basis. So they got to strike
going again, y'all. I ain't got no knowledge of history, policy, or anything else. See, this is why I joke with you, Nagone.
Oh, thanks.
Here we go. Got a question.
David Monroe with the Cash app. All right, put your question up, man. I think I was looking down. I was looking at my phone, looking at that Cash app you just sent. Put your question up, brother David.
He said it right there. It's in the chat.
I think my damn shit is behind everybody else.
You see it, M.O.T?
See shit. Let me pull up the stream lab.
The question's for you from David Monroe.
I can't see anything on the screen. He didn't put it up yet.
Let me pull up the stream lab chat. Okay, here we go. Because my damn YouTube chat is moving slow, man. For some reason. I don't know why. All right. David Monroe says, how do those policies Save Black Lives, brother M.O.T. That's for you.
Which policies? I mean, he's in the chat. You can rephrase it. Which policies? Well, tonight's discussion. Well, I'll answer it. I may be borging out because I'm going around this mountain kind of fast. But the policies is this. The policies about getting rid of bad police is so that way only the good police remain. The only thing I'm lobbying for is equal protection under the law when it comes to public officials. I'm not asking for anything special. Like, what I'm asking for the police, I would want the same thing to happen for somebody who works at the DMV, somebody who works at the water department, somebody who works for, I don't know, public driving a bus in town. That's all I'm asking for. Is when you do something incredibly heinous on the job that you don't get any type of protection and you'll actually get fired for it like you are at any other job. Because security guards don't actually, for the most part, escalate things to violence like sometimes that the police do. I just want the police to be a well-equipped, highly professional organization, and that just ain't been the case of recent. The vast majority are good. When I was there, the vast majority are good, but then again, you had the undercover cops and these other clowns that you couldn't get rid of, and you couldn't make no complaints against them. But if you did, your ass was off the force. That's just the way the shit worked. So I would rather those people not be there. So that way, the rest of the people who actually want to be a cop and want to protect the actual city and all that kind of stuff, that they stay there. And of course, that'll save more lives in the end.
I hope that answered your question, brother David. Any more questions coming through? Shoot them up. Good luck on that cash out, brother Doug. Appreciate that, man.
Shoot them up for this topic. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, shoot them up. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Come on. The debaters don't have a lot of time, y'all. If y'all not going to ask them any questions, I'm going to let them go because they don't have a lot of time. For y'all to fuck around, God damn it.
Trey, is there any more advancements on this Dr. Dre divorce thing or no?
Man, I don't know, man. I got out of it, man. Like I said, man, I'm done with that, cats and this red pill, relationship stuff. If cats don't get it by now, they done.
Oh, yeah, they are. I mean, all the MAGA music he made, got taken down by feminism anyway.
I don't see any questions. I don't see any questions, folks. Y'all don't have no questions for my debaters. I'm going to let them go. No questions for my folks. I'm going to let them go. God damn it. I ain't going to hold them up here for nothing. Not going to hold them up here for nothing. Secure. I got one. Just writing it now in Cash App. Who's the question for, Ace? We'll give him a few minutes. He said he got a question. He's writing it in Cash App. So I think that's going to be it.
Where you been in this house at, Trey? Hey, Trey, so how far you are in this house, man?
No, man, I just contracted on it. I'm building it outside San Antonio in the county.
All right. Good look on that Cash App, brother Ace.
I'm going to come out there, man. I got family out there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man.
You didn't write no question, brother Ace. You didn't write a question. Write the question in the chat. I got the Cash App, but there's no question. It just says regarding policy. Write your question in the chat. I'll read it, brother.
Oh, he wrote it.
In the chat?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
I gotta pull up the Streamlabs chat to see the shit because the fucking YouTube chat.
I think I see it.
It's for you, M.O.T.
The YouTube chat is acting quite weird. All right. This question is for brother M.O.T.
Yeah.
Regarding policy and policy changes, wouldn't the subject of mindset of most UN citizens be a start?
No. I mean, because no change in mindset of the citizens changed at all. Like, policy is a legislative thing. You know, you don't wait for everybody in the country to change before you change anything. Like me, I had to leave that unfortunate situation where I was in order for me to get this. I couldn't wait on Mississippi to get his shit together before I decided to get my shit together. You know, sometimes, you know, you got to move before they do. I mean, and this is why you move to states and cherry pick these particular cases to where you can actually bring these things to the Supreme Court. But you got this Benjamin Crump motherfucker out there signing away the ability for people to be able to sue for this shit by taking this goddamn money most of the time. And that's why you gotta stop that type of shit from happening.
Well, I don't know if I think Ace wanted you to answer that too, right, Ace? Because I think he was, I think he was asking both of you that question. Because he put this question is for M.O.T. and the. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he meant me as well. You know, I believe it is. Basically, you know, the U.S. is turning into, you know, two separate countries. You know, we've got the snowflakes on the left, and they're being, you know, the normal people on the left, like, you know, man of tomorrow, you know, their message is getting hijacked by these snowflakes. And you've got politicians capitulating to the snowflake mindset. So the true moderates out there on both sides can't come together. So it's going to have to be a hard mindset shift amongst the moderates on the left to basically call out the BS of the snowflakes. And I'm talking about certain Black Lives Matter and freaking Antifa and all those freaking crazy Pookies and Ray Rays that are destroying and looting and rioting. Now, as far as the left, the right, you know, the politicians, you know, not those that just consider ourselves conservatives, but I mean the Republicans. You know, they're hiding right now. They're in their offices and they don't want to touch it. They're scared to just come down and say, like, look, stop what you're doing. We're going to come in and crush all this nonsense. So basically, somebody has to step up and say, our country is not going to get destroyed. Bad cops, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, who want to destroy the nuclear black family, all of you all need to go away. But who's going to be the one to step up? You know, who's going to be the one in power to step up and say, all of you all have to go?
Are there any more questions for the debaters?
I'm so glad I walked away from this stuff. I'm just trying to change these policies, so that way we ain't got public service out here acting a fool and shit. Like, nah, son. What next? The highway patrol? What next? The water department when they come out? Like, nah.
Hey, Doug said he dropped one.
Oh, you did, Doug? Write it back in the chat, Doug, because I did get that Cash App, but there was no question attached to it.
Here's the thing.
Write it in the chat.
Like I think it would be a good panel. Like me, Trey, David Monroe, Shirley Huzad, Mr. Research, and BMT. So that way we can see who's a real conservative and who's not, based on their perspective talking. Oh man, somebody got hidden or something?
Man, I hired Charles Merchant. Okay, I see it up here. It's Man of Tomorrow, Trey. Can we get a rematch? Topic: fake versus real black conservatives. I believe it's something to learn from the difference. Something to learn from difference.
No, I mean, what we can do is, like I said, is we have a whole thing to like a whole panel of just nothing but conservatives. Period.
I addressed this, in my video about, Angela Stanton and Candace Owens. Man, they're spitting the
Hey
same
man,
message.
those are not good women, dude.
Here's the issue, bro. Like, honestly, I can't say anything about Candace Owens because my daughter following Candace Owens took her out that life, and my daughter introduced me to Candace Owens, and I had a negative opinion of her myself until I went back and listened to her full speeches versus just snippets. And then Angela Stanton, I got mad respect for her. She's a reformed strag. And, now she's living that life. So I got the utmost respect for her.
They said a reform strag.
No. Yeah, there is no. Life humbled her motherfucking ass for 4 kids. I don't believe that reform shit.
Hey, it is what it is. People could say the same thing about me. So
I don't think
talk policy.
I don't think Stanton
day.
can win. I don't think Stanton can win.
No, she can't.
I don't think she can win.
She's running for office?
Yeah,
she's running against John Lewis, man.
Nah, she can't win.
Nah, she can't. She
can't. John Lewis is dead. What?
No, he's not. He's not dead. He's not dead. John Lewis ain't dead. You talking about Elijah Cummings?
Oh,
Elijah
Cummings.
Sorry. Yeah. All right.
From Baltimore.
They'll put the man in the grave already. God damn it.
Nah, hey, can I answer dead. Zero's question, X?
I don't know. Let me see if he sent a cash app. Let me see if he sent a cash app. Because we don't usually take questions to the debaters unless they're a cash app or super chat.
Man, Mike V a fool, man. Mike V, they do look alike. I thought the same thing when I first heard Angela Stanton was running against him.
Are we really doing all old niggas look alike?
Hey, won't that what y'all was debating last week, M.O.T, you and SKC?
Yeah, but SKC keep getting me on this, trying to bring standards to standardless people.
Well, if y'all don't have any more questions for the debaters, I'm going to let them go, man. These men have things they have to do. So I'm going to let them go. If you don't have any more questions, that is. I don't think they have any more questions. They're just sitting.
They won't even allow me. They won't even allow me.
Waiting for me to open up the panel. God damn it. That's what they're waiting on. So I can have 99 Negroes up here. 99 Negroes up here.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I got a question. Like, does a StreamYard work, like, functionally when having 10 people on there, or does it just...
it works pretty much. Well, it works pretty much the same. StreamYard is kind of hokey and janky any damn way. So, adding extra people doesn't do anything. I mean, if it's working, it's working. If it's working like junk, it's working like junk. I don't think the amount of people has too much to do with it as far as StreamYard is concerned. I mean, it's kind of hokey anyway, man. It's a little hokey, It's a little hokey. Uh-oh, hold up.
Uh-oh.
Hold up. Oh, okay. Good look on that cash app, brother Charles Merchant. Appreciate that, man. If you got a question, please put it in the chat, sir, and I will read it. I will put it on the big board. Oh, good look, Good look on that Cash App, Brother James. Appreciate that, man. No question attached to it, though. So if you want to ask a question, please, sir, type it in the chat. I will read it.
Hey Trey,
What's up, man?
it looked like the VA may be getting into the edibles game in a couple years, man.
Man, too much regulation for me, man. Oklahoma. I tell you, I don't know if I'll
I mean,
ever
like
leave Oklahoma.
you just don't want to be a supplier to them.
Oh, if
Oh,
if I can, pass their rigorous FDA tests. But
good look on that Cash App, Brother Zero. My bad, folks.
it's
Good
all
look on
good.
that Cash App, Brother Zero. Appreciate that, brother.
In order for me to supply the VA, it would have to, make it legal nationally because, I wouldn't be able to transport across state lines as long as it's still illegal federally.
I mean, because they're mostly talking about Colorado. They're not talking about everywhere else.
Yeah, my hands are tied on that.
I mean, I move cocaine for the DEA sometimes.
Like I said, I'm turning down so much business in Texas, man, because I'm keeping my hands squeaky clean because I'm not messing with
Oh
no
my
Oklahoma
God,
license.
yeah, nah, man,
I am not
don't do
messing
that
because,
shit.
man,
I know a lot
Oklahoma,
of people who done fuck that shit up with that Texas shit, man.
yeah,
Don't.
man, Oklahoma's laws are so friendly.
Yes,
It's
they are.
insane.
Yes, they are.
You said
All
somebody
right.
dropped a question, X?
No, they just dropped the. I told them if they got a question, write it in the chat. They're not writing it. I mean, three brothers and dropped some Cash Apps, but no questions attached to it.
Oh, there it is.
I know this is kind of slow and ugly how we doing it now, y'all, but until I get my super chat back, this is how we're going to have to do it. Brother Charles Merchant says, is police reform for criminal cops or also for cops that won't cross the line?
Both.
Yeah, both. I agree with M.O.T on that, both.
Yeah. I mean, you know how it was, Trey. They walked in and things weren't right. Who got dropped? Everybody in there.
Yep, because this is where I agree with M.O.T on 100%. If we have better policy, that means that good cops don't face any punishment from the blue wall of silence for reporting bad cops.
Yeah, because what people don't understand is in a lot of municipalities, and this ain't everywhere, you can't really make a complaint against another cop like silently to get somebody to investigate them. You really can't do that. You really have to go up the chain of command, and as soon as you do that, you're out of there.
Yeah, just like we have in the Army, a reporting system. Where like the young lady that lost her life at Fort Hood in Texas, there's a reporting system for sexual assault, sexual harassment for male and female soldiers, and you can report silently or you can report out in the open. And unfortunately, man, it sucks that young lady didn't exercise that. So the situation could have been rectified before she lost her life. But I feel that the police should have some sort of system as well. And that reform bill that Tim Scott passed, I believe he tried to include that in there. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Good look on that Cash App, NYC Song Man. Okay, there's your question. Appreciate that, brother. NYC Songman says, is there a difference between U.S. police code and that which binds together a combat unit in the military?
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
Yeah, big difference. I'll speak on it first, coming from, I served, 2 combat tours before I switched over to military intelligence. I'll put it like this. I was a forward observer. And, from the field artillery standpoint, if we, intentionally call in artillery or airstrike on a wedding or some goat herders, and we didn't, as spotters, specifically verify that that was safe and clear, we could face, life in prison under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. That's pounding rocks at Leavenworth because we negligently caused the loss of life. So that, that goes for all combat servicemen, in combat zones.
Yeah, I mean, they're like in the military, depending on what base you on, there's like 4 different levels of jurisdiction, and one of them is double jeopardy. So yeah, it kind of gets into the minutia, but yeah, it's different. There's only a couple different places where double jeopardy is okay. Like you get punished by the civilian people, and then you get punished by the military. It's not that many places than it used to be, but Turkey was one of the big ones when I was there.
All right. We got another one coming through, folks. Y'all showing out now. God damn it. Yeah, they're showing out. All right. Brother Wacky of Wacky World of TV has a question. He said he gonna put it in the chat. I guess
The original old man. 1.0 old man.
Yeah. Yeah, Wacky been around a while.
Man, Wacky, I didn't even know you were Haitian, bro. Bonsoir.
Wacky been around this shit a while, man. Appreciate that cash app, brother. Appreciate that, man. Oh, damn, my man KIT in the chat, man. I should have hit you up, brother KIT. Well, I'll be fucking the time all up. All the way up. We waiting for your question, Wacky. Put it in there, man. Probably done slip by this one. All right. I don't see anything. All right, there it is. All right, Brother Wacky says, question for M.O.T. Do you believe the Internal Affairs Division of the police precinct should be replaced by a sector of the federal government to police the police?
Absolutely. Yes.
Would that be better though? Like, because to me, a cop's a cop for the most part. So
that's another area we agree on.
Yeah, I mean, the feds work kind of different though. I mean, like if you set up this is why you have to have a system specifically for punishing police. You got to have a system for that. That's outside of anything else that exists, and that's all they do. Kind of like a court-martialing system for the military.
I believe that's what Tim Scott Bill, David Monroe, he knows more about that, was going to do. It was going to institute a national reporting system and database for, cops and when they create, bad offenses. But guess what? It got thrown out.
Yeah, because you can't track those type of shootings. Like, I think there's like 2 police papers that track all the shootings, but there's like no government database specifically for police shooting or type. They don't allow that type of reporting for some reason. I think that's crazy. I think that the way we can look at data now, all the data that we can have on stuff, the better. I don't know why they would not want to be, tracked. Not a good idea, but
yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and open it up. Let a few brothers come on. I reckon. for this last hour, because what time is it? It's almost 12 o'clock. Yeah, we'll do this last hour and bring some brothers on. Don't be trying to come up on here if you know you somebody I don't want on here. You know who you are. Don't even waste your time, because I'm not even gonna let you up. So don't even waste your fucking time. I'm not gonna let you up. There's one thing about this StreamYard shit. It ain't like Google Hangouts, motherfucker. Just pop up. You actually have to add them. So
You can block them if they're in the back room. That's what I do.
General, what's good with it, man?
Hey man, what's good, M.O.T? I'm sorry, what's good, brothers? M.O.T. What's happening with you, brother? Hey, listen, you guys were right on tonight, man. With I agree with everything you guys had to say. And listen, I'm here at Fort Hood. I can tell you right now that it is absolutely bananas out there. It is bananas. You would not believe the fallout that's happening behind that young lady's death and
I know.
disappearance. It is bananas. Do you feel me?
You make the news. You make the news. It's gonna be some serious problems.
I tell you what, General, though, man, you've been in, longer than I have, man. I've seen these murders, just like the young black girl that was killed in Iraq in 2005.
Oh yeah,
man, these murders have just gone by over and over, year after year, and it's got no airplay. But you know what happened? Selma Hayek, because it's cancel culture right now, jumped on this girl's disappearance, and now the snowflakes have jumped on top of it. And they don't realize that this goes on every year, multiple times in the military.
All the time, all the time.
So there's a failure. So what's being said, I'll give you guys a little insight real quick. And this ties into kind of like what the topic of the conversation was real quick. What's going on is saying that there was a cover up because, like I know, for the guys that have been in the military, you ever been inside of an arms room on a military installation, you know how difficult it is, number one, to get in. Number two, it takes 3 people. So the question is, number one, how did she get called into work when it was not a necessity? Number two, how did only 2 people get access into that arms room? Number 3, why was there a civilian, the young lady who assisted with the crime, why was she even brought onto the installation and allowed in there? So there are a lot of questions that a lot of people, heads are rolling all the way from the post commander, post sergeant major, all the way down to the company level command.
But General, man, I could tell you stories, man. It went on, man. Stories I had to deal with stupid soldiers doing dumb stuff that'll make this look like nothing. I can guarantee you, man, this was, some kind of love triangle, somebody was, smashing somebody got jealous. And what you got is what I noticed, thank God I got out in 2015 because I didn't know nothing about this manosphere, red pill stuff. But all I saw was all these emotional young soldiers coming in, white and black. And what, I see it happen. Like, man, don't no soldier that's been through the real deal freaking just grab a hammer and bludgeon a young woman. That's some of the most emotional shit you could do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And, my time is coming to a close here soon after 23 and a half years. And I cannot wait because these soldiers are truly emotional, man. I tell you, when I was a drill instructor, last part of, cell phones became a big issue and all of that stuff. If you told a soldier that, hey, we're going to have to take your phone, you can only have it on the weekend, they cried. Big old grown ass 6'3" fucking 250-pound men crying like little 110-pound girls because you told them we got to take your phones. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, man. And there is I can tell that there's definitely a different change as far as emotions are concerned. Dealing with the police, we got some young MPs that they're trying to pin us on. You know how shit goes downhill, right? So now, So, and I agree with you, brother M.O.T, when you talk about some of the police reform. Both of you brothers made excellent points about police reform. I believe that what has to happen, real quick, I'm gonna pass the mic. I believe what has to happen is if you're a police officer and you're found to have committed a crime where someone loses their life and you're negligent, you lose all police union protection, you lose all police, you get tried as a regular civilian, and at that point, whatever the judgment is, that's what you face. That's how I believe. And then we need to go away from having these investigative departments within the police departments, because we know that there's a long blue line, and it's the same thing in the military. I've seen it happen over and over again, and this is why we're having this debacle out here on this installation, because there was a cover-up. That young lady reported it through the proper procedures and channels, and someone covered it up. They did not do their job.
Ooh,
and now with that, I'll
boy,
pass the mic.
that's what happened. Yeah, it's just that in those circumstances, it protects everybody when you remove these motherfuckers off the street, man. Because it's only a couple people who's doing the shit, and can't nobody really report them. Type of shit that I don't like. Trust me. In that type of situation, you talking about general, man.
Yeah, they trying. My homeboy is there right now. He about 2 years out from retiring, and he's talking about they trying to go from the CG on down.
I know.
Well, you see, with a lot of these police, like I said, they knew even after the situation with in L.A. with Rodney, what's his name? But anyway, when they beat him down, they sat back and went through the police force, looked at who was doing a lot of the crimes, if you will, on who were police, and they saw it came down to a fairly small number of police officers. These were the guys that were creating a lot of the problems. So it's not the whole police force. It's a fairly small number of guys. Just like in any other criminal environment, you have most people are going to be okay. Some are going to be a little iffy, but you're going to have some hardcore stone colds up in there. And that's what we see in the police force as well. But they do enough damage and cause the cities enough money to have to pay out in overall awards and stuff like that, or settlements, because of the crazy shit that they do. It actually, from a dollar's perspective, it makes sense to do something, shut down, cut down some of the responsibilities and some of the power of the police unions. All right, defund some of where the police actually are really not needed, and put some other types of people there, maybe public service officers and so forth, who are a little bit different than police, that can handle other types of situations, and really only bring police around where they're, in some respects, absolutely and totally needed. Certainly in situations of domestic situations, or robberies and other types of crimes that you have to have, where police may need to be, where they may need to be armed and so forth. We see that. We know most people do not create violent crimes. We know amongst the black community, over 90% of the people who do crimes are misdemeanors. That's what it is. We make up this whole story of all of these big giant super killers around here, and you bring up a kid here, you bring up a kid there. But and listen, one kid is too much, all right, as far as I'm concerned. But if we really look at the overall crime scene here in this country, and we take these white boy talking points like black on black crime, and then you want to sit down and then say it's okay to tear other people out of the frame because you say blacks have killed somebody, another black person in Chicago or something else like that, and then you give them carte blanche to operate like thugs around the rest of the country. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And it's
that makes no sense, Nagone. That makes no sense, Nagone. All these knuckleheads all over the country need to be handled. All these pookies all over the country need to be handled, Nagone. I'm not giving carte blanche to any freaking pookie or Ray that's out here causing mischief.
Yo, hold on a second. Who said they don't need to be handled? Stop talking.
You said Chicago.
Dumb shit.
You said Chicago, Nagone. Come on, man.
Dumb shit.
Come on, Nagone. Let's be respectful, Nagone.
We're talking a policy here.
Nagone, this debate's over with, Nagone. I debated with M.O.T. We opened it up. We're talking about everything, Nagone.
Over there, but we're talking.
Come on, Nagone. Nagone, we're not talking policy anymore. We're talking about everything.
We're talking
the
about
debate's over with, Nagone.
That adversely affect.
Nagone, can somebody else get a word in besides Nagone?
You can use one or two people to say, well, they killed somebody here, they killed somebody
there. Let's hear
there.
from BMT. Let's hear from a real conservative.
That's bullshit. It doesn't warrant that. That's why we have to be very careful. Police
BMT, you in the middle, bro. See if
You're not a conservative.
I'm always in the
nothing.
middle.
You're nothing of a
Oh
conservative.
my God, man! Here we
You're
go.
nothing
Hold on.
Man.
Hold on one
conservative.
second. Hold
If
on
anything,
one
you're talking
second
that coon shit, but
before
you ain't
y'all
talking no
start.
conservative
Before
stuff.
y'all start
Oh
tearing
my
into each
Get the
goodness!
fuck
other.
out of here with that
Hold
conservative. You
Oh
don't
my
even know what a
hold on one
conservative
second.
is.
God!
If
Like
I
I
asked you
said, I knew that
where the
was gonna
Hold
conservative movement
on
started
one
from,
second.
who started, you
Hold,
couldn't even tell me.
hold on one
So you tell
second.
me about conservative.
I
You don't know
gotta
shit about conservatism, and you
I
know
gotta
nothing about
step
the
away.
conservative platform. You
I
know
gotta
nothing
step
about
away
Oh
for
my
what
like 10
goodness!
conservatives
minutes.
actually do and how
I
they
gotta
move
step
from
I
Oh
a
gotta
dear
step
Lord,
away for
man!
like
I'm
10
out of here. If
minutes.
we can't have no
couldn't
I
debate
don't
with
understand
all
it.
of us, I'm out of
I
here.
don't
We
want
can't
to
all
come
talk.
I don't want to come back and my shit is flagged. But I gotta
Yeah.
step I gotta step away for like 10 minutes. Please don't get my shit flagged while I'm gone. Please.
Yeah.
I'll be
So
right back.
let
All right.
me
Well, we don't want to get this effect,
let me
but I can't. I'm tired of talking to ignorant people that
Oh my
don't understand
goodness! Here we go.
policy, don't know
What's
history,
going on,
can't
BMT?
speak
What's
on
going on,
any
man? What you
a
got for us,
conservative
bro?
movement. He wouldn't know
so
Barry Goldwater. He wouldn't know Barry
What you got?
Goldwater
What
was
you
a
got for
felon.
us, BMT?
I mean,
well
what are these guys talking about?
I'm pretty sure and I what's going on to Gone. Shout out to him. And I think I am one of the longest
Hey, what's
conservatives
going on,
in the
BMT? What's going on,
game.
baby?
I'm one of the longest running ones in the game. And I never shied for talking about policies. One of the things why we need to actually deal with a lot of these policies is because a lot of these policies are being used for cover-ups for bigger things that are not getting addressed. We can't tell you how many times that literally and let's not even just talk about community. How many times have police covered up stuff for politicians? How many times the police covered up stuff for doggone companies that are doing fraudulent stuff? But so long as the police union, mind you, every time we have a banquet, they make a nice generous donation. You're told not to go in that place. You're told not to go there. I mean, I'm telling you, I own my own company. So I know how it goes when it comes to the police banquet. You pay them to keep their silence and stay loyal to whoever has the biggest bank. Now, is that fair? No, because that means that you are no more than a tag dog for whoever so choose to be the master. And see, right then and there, that gets dangerous because that means anybody can play God with people that we are supposed to be upholding a sworn duty of non-bias towards the public
Did I
citizen.
go?
And if you can't, hang on that. So if we can't hold these men and women accountable, you can't get all. As anybody who's a soldier, we can't just say I feared for my life and I just fired. My ass will be before the brass.
And you just up in there killing people randomly.
So
Come on.
I can't just say that. Now the thing about it is there has to be a better mandate. And I went to criminal justice school. You always have that one cop that will definitely want to actually say, I want to tell, but if I say something, what are they going to do to me? Because mind you, when you go out there in the field, you got to watch your back. So if the cop, if you tell on that one cop and he has more time than you do, he has more voice. So we gotta understand the politician. And I've talked to COs and in the prison correctional system. I've talked to different brothers different men of different races. Mind you, I just came from the halfway house, and a lot of men get put out there in them halfway houses, and that cop go right back to their baby mama house and bang them out. So we're not going to pretend like. I mean, I know. I know.
That's funny.
I mean, but that's the thing about it. But we talk. But that's the thing about it is, a lot of these immunities are now self-destructing, and now starting to no longer be able to not be looked at. I haven't heard anybody talk about Elijah McClain. That was a black, small, scrawny, introverted kid. He had 3 cops roll up on him and beat him within an inch of his life while he begged them and complimented them, and they beat him to death and injected ketamine in his body. Cops ain't certified to do that, but they wanted to cover their own behind. So you're telling me that literally, if we're paying these people our tax-paying dollars and I can't hold you responsible, oh no, there's something wrong in the pudding. But that's
know what it is, BMT? It's good that you got, like I told M.O.T, it's good that you got brothers out here that are willing to advocate like you are for, in the community. But I myself, what I was saying is that I'm of the other mindset of showing brothers how to live another life and walk away.
That wasn't in the community.
It don't matter, man. You can have
Whoa,
both.
whoa, whoa, whoa. But wait. Now you're talking to me. Trey.
I don't know Elijah. I don't know his story, bro. So I can't.
You see what I'm saying? But you deflected that to the black community.
No, I didn't. I don't know his story, bro. I can't talk about it.
So Elijah McClain, that was all the way up there in Seattle. Ain't that many black folks up there? Ain't that many black?
I lived there. I lived in Seattle.
Once you start
lived in Seattle,
Colorado,
BMT. I can tell you, I lived there.
You want me to pull up the story?
I can tell you how Seattle is. I lived there.
But here's the thing about it.
I was stationed there.
Okay, congratulations. I was stationed all over too. But see, here's the thing about it. When you bring up other cops in other countries, if they screw up, ain't no protection for you. That's you on your own. They you get the same treatment as a criminal. They don't give you no separation from the public. They don't give you no separation, no said different trial. You get the same said treatment. Same thing as if us 6 were out there on patrol and we were to screw up, we know that's it. Ain't no doggone brother code.
You're concerned about policy. I'm concerned about other things. That's it. I want to focus my time on kids, man. That's where my focus is at.
Hold on. You're talking to BMT.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, bro.
So here's the thing about it. If I got a young man who wants to be a cop, would I not want the policies to be just before he goes in there?
Man, there's plenty of police departments he can be a cop at and face no issues. Like I said, you talking 99.99%.
You're deflecting me. Don't do like a woman. Don't do like a woman. Don't deflect.
Come on, man. The policies are in place. There's so many black cops out there. Man, how many black police chiefs are out there running things? Let's take it back to the ABW argument. You have a lot of these major metropolitan cities are ran by black female police chiefs to include Seattle.
How's that been going?
Seattle.
Now, how's that been going? How's those cities been going?
I say it goes horrible, but those are all snowflake liberal-run cities.
Honestly, snowflake liberal-run cities. Actually, a lot of them are conservative. What are you talking about?
Which one?
You want to go into Texas?
Only one is Springfield, Missouri.
You want to go into Texas? You don't want to talk about Texas? You don't want to talk about Texas?
Nope.
You tried
only one in Texas. Only one in Texas that made the list was Houston, bro, and that's run by a liberal.
So wait. So you make it seem like we ain't okay. Here's the thing about it.
Houston's one city. Wait. Where the rest? That's one city. What else you
top 20? Top 20.
Okay, so here's
one is ran by an independent, and that's Springfield, Missouri.
Now here's the thing about it. Now we keep talking about divesting, and I'm all fine.
Man, this dude don't know what the fuck he's talking.
Now here's the thing about it.
I can get in when y'all done.
I'm about to give it. I'm about to ask a question. I'm about to ask. Y'all know I'm not SBM.
Let's look at real police policy.
But let's ask the one question. Let's ask one thing. As us as men, are we not fighting for accountability as men? Yes or no?
Of course. Accountability. Where's that start with? SYSBM.
So why would we not with the men wearing uniform?
Where does your accountability start with, BMT? Where does yours start?
Dude,
hey, when y'all finish, I want to jump in there.
Go ahead, spiritual.
Man, that's black female behavior right there, bro. You still clapping like a black female right there, bro.
I mean, you deflecting like a woman. You deflecting like a woman. I never thought you would do that, Trey.
Hey, that's what black females
Trey,
do.
I never thought you would deflect.
Hey, we all good. We all good here. Everybody making good points. First, I like to say what's up to everybody, and as far as the debate, functionally and conceptually, I for the topic's sake, I'm going to say M.O.T has it right. Now, I'm not disagreeing with Trey. I'm just saying for what, policy is a problem. My issue with us, my issue is not changing policy. I think it should be changed. My issue is that are we dependent on that for actually solving our functional problems? And I think that's where I have an issue. Like, it's nothing wrong.
Well, that's an individual responsibility.
Because here's my thing. Yeah. But here's my thing about the policy. When I look at we're right. If the world makes sense, policy would be the end all and be all to end corruption. Unfortunately, it seems like policies are being twisted because even if the policy makes sense, even if we have civil rights on the books, it seems like there's always a nefarious reason for us to exchange, for us to get one thing and lose another. And it's like civil rights. It's like, okay, we on paper, we're recognized to have our civil rights, but we still don't actually functionally have them in society the way that everyone else does. Even though if you look at the books, okay, it's written right, but how do we actually do that? Now, I'm all for holding cops accountable. I'm not taking that away, and I think they should be held accountable. And that's the issue of why I can't disagree with policy changes. I'm just saying, like, my issue is this on a larger scale is socially engineered, because they, if you look at what's happening now in this certain climate that we're in now, they have a solution for social chaos between police and civilians. It's called AI. It's called, soon the policing will be robots. Soon we are going to be chipped and tracked. And this is going to end all of our racial squabble, but put us into a whole bigger issue that we're distracted from. Even though it's a real issue, cops killing black people is a real issue, but it's being exploited to hide a much bigger thing that's going to make us all wish that we just had police problems. And I think that in terms of black people, like M.O.T said, we do need to do both. Let's be real. But one doesn't work without the other. And I think that policy change won't actually be realized until it matches our changing values. Because even if all the policies made sense, we're so dysfunctional until it's like most black people are thinking that if they change the policy, not us, but most black people, if they change the policy, they change our problem. That's just how low thinking most black people are. They think that that's it. If police, but they don't realize, okay, what if all the policies are right? What if the policies are written correctly and all the cops who are bad got taken out the way? We still have a much bigger issue. And I think it's a distraction from the majority of black people to think about our issue. And that's where I have a problem, because I don't have a problem with policy change. I have a problem with it being used as a distraction for what our real problem is. Because I think that, we don't realize if the world was all black, we would still have a problem with police brutality, because we are dysfunctionally and uncultured people. Because if all the police were black, it still wouldn't end problems.
I think it's one thing we're overlooking, though, Brother Hulk. We talk about policy, good policy, bad policy, policy for black folks, policy for white folks, policy for the whole world. But one simple thing that we're overlooking, at least I think we are, y'all can correct me if y'all think I'm wrong. Personnel is policy. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's rules on the books now. That's why I'm not all for this. Let's sign this law, and this law is going to keep the police from doing this and doing that shit. There are laws and shit on the books now that they do not follow. So I don't think if you were to give them more legislation, give them more things that put more of a restraint on them, I don't think that that's the answer to the problem. Because I say again, personnel is the policy. These people's fucking personalities are always going to trump the rules. I mean, especially if it's coming from up top, because make no mistake, I'm a true believer in shit rolling downhill. So if you got a bunch of officers on the street who are comfortable with hurting people, shooting people, tasing people, and killing people, that means that shit is getting signed off up top. Because see, the people up top can stop that shit from happening if they really wanted to. So, I mean, there's many different levels and sections. I don't mean to run on with this shit, but I mean, I just feel like personnel is policy. And a lot of times, a lot of the people that are out there with a badge and a gun and a taser and backup and a walkie-talkie and a cruiser have no business being there. They should be fucking garbage men. They should be fucking plumbers, dog walkers. I don't know. But a lot of those people should not be cops.
Hey, X, if I could add on to what X said about personnel being the issue, and see, that's what they're making the problem to actually be. So now they're going to say, well, we just need to get rid of people, period. No person can be charged, because if you have the free will, even with a good policy, you can still do evil to people. And some people don't care about consequences. Going to jail and ending their life for an evil person doesn't really have any consequence to them if their goal is to just do evil and die. It's like a suicidal bomber. So,
well, let me say this one last thing, and I'll let y'all brothers have it. Now, we're all on media. I know me, I don't watch a lot of television at all, but I get a lot of my news from media and on my phones and all that shit. All of us have seen these protests, these marches, these demonstrations, all of them for what? In the name of what? Standing against police brutality. But at practically every one of these things you see, guess what you see
Even
clips
more.
of?
Even more.
Police brutality at a police brutality protest. That's why I
Yep.
say, I mean, this shit ain't going anywhere, man. It's
But not
not
just
going
that.
anywhere.
But not
Go
just
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
Can we see how they're giving us a deception because they're trying to bring in more of a National Guard presence. It's almost like they're trying to say, okay, let's get rid of the police altogether. Even though I know what M.O.T means, and I in a world that makes sense, he's absolutely right. And function and conceptually, I agree with him. But I'm just saying they have a more sinister agenda behind all this police chaos to really bring in a whole like, okay, let's get rid of the police all together and let's make it more because people are getting commonplace. Military presence is becoming a more of a commonplace in U.S. cities right now. People are getting used to seeing National Guard. They're getting used to seeing these troops on the street. And while we're complaining about the police, we don't see the overarching issue that we're being swamped in.
Which cities is that happening in?
But spiritual, why are they being?
Well, you can see it in New York. You can see it in a lot of cities. It was in Minneapolis, New York. They got it in a lot of these cities that had these
What's the
protests.
common theme amongst these cities? What's the common theme?
Dysfunction.
Yeah, just dysfunction. Exactly. Now, spiritual.
We're trained to see armed responses though, because a lot of these cities and these little towns and these counties, their goddamn police force is militarized anyway. They got fucking Humvees and personnel carriers and all this kind of bullshit.
Why would a police department need a $500,000 Humvee? What civilian is running around?
No Humvee costs $500,000.
What civilian is running around with armor piercing? What civilian is running around with armor piercing rounds?
Well, it doesn't. But that's the same. That's the game they're playing. They're playing a game.
So why
let me speak on that.
Why are we paying?
If you go in the hood, if you go in some of these hoods,
ain't nobody in the hood.
If you go in some of these hoods where you've got criminals carrying AKs with hollow points, how do you expect to deal with them? With white shirts, tank tops, and billy clubs?
Dude,
how are you going to deal with them? How do you suggest dealing with them?
You got white boys running through doggone Walmart playing Fortnite.
You suggest dealing with them?
You got white kids running through Walmart playing Fortnite, shooting up
at the levels of Chicago, at the levels of Southside Chicago. At the levels of what took place in Atlanta over 4th of July weekend.
Damn,
I'm just saying, baby.
I mean, I get you wearing that MAGA hat pretty hard on your head, but damn it,
let's get this corrected. Bro.
I mean, damn, are you trying to be a MAGA? Are you trying to be MAGA? Like, I can get you.
I am make America great again, bro.
Can we agree that feeding? Can we agree they're feeding corruption on both ends? Can we agree they're feeding corruption on both ends?
What do you mean, Spiritual?
Not like me, bro. They're not like me.
Who are you voting for, BMT?
They're feeding.
They're not like me.
Who are you voting for, BMT? Mr. Conservative?
That's my business.
Oh, I'm voting for Trump, BMT.
That's my business.
Can we agree?
I'm sure you eat
candy
snatch. I'm sure.
What did you say, Spiritual? Corruption on which side?
On both sides. Can we agree that both M.O.T and Trey can both be right? Like, yes, the police is being over militarized. And the foolishness is being over incentivized so that this clash can continue. This is and then it's like that's what I'm saying. This is all about socially engineered conflict.
Like it's already taken place. I mean, you look at what's going on in New York City. New York City, downtown, Midtown, Washington Heights, the Bronx, right above Manhattan. They're all destroyed right now. The entire street blocks are freaking gone. These businesses are not coming back. I'm telling my mother-in-law, trying to tell her, stay in DR. Don't come back to Washington Heights. You don't want to come up here.
I have a question. You said that you divested a long time ago. So why is it that you are not for? Now, mind you, if you're a conservative like me, why ain't you talking about policies? That's literally one of our hard-ons that we love talking about policies. Why don't you ever talk about it?
I teach men to move away and move. I don't care about policies like you do.
If I get
I'm SYSBM. I'm SYSBM. That you read those 2310.
I don't even come up with our conservative talks. Like, I mean, shit.
I don't come to your panel because you've got strags on your panel.
No. I'm talking about any
you
of
have strags on your panel. You come up, you invite me to a panel where you have all men, and I'll come up. I'm not coming on your panel debate with
research.
Females.
Never seen your sister Shirley. I've never seen you on any
panels
on our
with any
conservative
females. All right?
Okay, so you come on in with the men.
Females. You
I've never
invite
seen
me,
you
I'll
come on
come.
Indian men.
My
so you're
emails
gonna
in my
talk
about
about? Are
section.
you like a woman? You gonna complain? Are you gonna talk about?
Come on, don't try that, BMT.
Oh yeah, I mean,
conservatives don't do that, BMT.
I mean, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
BMT, I don't, BMT.
I mean, I've never seen you at any of our conservative talk.
Okay. So, David,
did Art even call you for the
myself
conservative?
and David went
Did
over
Art
to
even
my
call you
channel
David?
after arguing, when myself and David went over to my channel after getting into it with M.O.T.
David at
you
least
can
comes
ask
up here.
anybody. Only thing we said was, M.O.T, we have no smoke for you, no vitriol, brother.
I don't give a shit about that. We've been
riding with you for over 4 years. We'll never have that towards you.
Okay,
guess
congratulations.
What? The only person I hear that coming from on this panel was you, BMT, and I told you.
I mean, are you trying to make it
against you?
I don't got no smoke against you, but I'm just saying that here's the thing about it. Now, here's the problem that I had the vitriol about X is the fact that we got the new neoconservatives misrepresenting us actual black conservatives. Like,
who you voting for?
So here's the thing about excuse me.
Who you voting for?
Here's the thing: when men are talking, hush.
Who you voting for, brother?
So the next thing about it
who
is
you voting for,
M.O.T. I got a question. If you're there, how many times have you heard me, a conservative, mind you? I brought liberals as well as Democrats on my panel,
and you have strags on your panel.
And we all hang on now.
You have strags for the community on your panel.
Dang, are you a woman? Do you have to interrupt?
No, you are.
Damn,
you
like
long
Jay.
Hair, looking like a clown up there right now. You're the one seal clapping and trying to talk over everybody. Ask your question, BMT.
What's your military discipline?
Excuse me. I spent 21 years in BMT. How many years did you do?
I did 10.
Oh man, why didn't you finish, bro? Man, you're a piece of shit because you didn't retire. See, that's how your argument sounds.
Whoa.
I'm joking, M.O.T. I'm joking.
You hear this brother talking?
M.O.T. I'm joking, man. I'm just using his line of defense. His line of defense against me. I'm joking.
Y'all gotta start saving some of this stuff for debate night, man.
I'm joking, BMT. I wasn't being serious, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. Like a lot of us.
My bad, X. I'm joking, BMT,
right now,
but that's how you sound right now, bro.
Some female stuff right now.
Come on, BMT.
And none of us bets ever come at each other sideways between me.
Oh my God! Yes, they have. Get out of here,
bro. You don't get how we roll. I'm just saying, you a little bit. We look at you sideways.
BMT, you roll with D. Durrell, bro. You got D. Durrell.
And so what? You know what? Guess what? And I still respect M.O.T. What the fuck?
D. Durrell.
We do business all the time. What the hell?
You got D. Durrell on your debate team.
Now?
You all on D. Durrell's nuts, bro. Guess what? I gotta look at you suspect. Just like me and SKC destroyed you that night. We look at you suspect.
You know you lost that debate, right? You know you lost that debate.
Come on, bro. We lost that debate. We lost that debate.
Hey, can I make a statement to the panel?
Yeah, you did. You lost that one too.
We lost that debate. You lost.
Hey, let me make a statement to everybody in the panel real quick. I want to make a statement to everybody in the panel. I put it in the chat. I said, and I wanted to see if we can agree on this. I said, damn, let me see what I said. Okay, I said basically, in order to hold bad cops accountable, yes, we need a policy change. But if black people don't acquire better values and structures, the policy will be used against us. And it's almost like I said, the civil rights movement. It's like, okay, we need it written right on the books, but without values and structure and consistency among black people, it's going to be used against us. And that's why feminism and LGBT movement came in and swooped in on what black people died from. And that's going to happen again and again. It's always going to be a Trojan horse as long as black people are void of the right values, void of structure, void of family. So the policy changes are going to be a Trojan horse to rip something more important from us. It's like, okay, for rights, we're losing our soul. We want the rights to be civil, then we lose our soul and we lose family, we lose values to exist in society. So my whole issue is like, yes, both of y'all are right. M.O.T. is right. We have to hold bad cops accountable, and the current system doesn't do that. But as long as black people are the way they are, it's only new policy won't help us. It will just, it will do something for the bad cops, but it'll probably be a detriment to us in long term if we don't get our act together while that policy is holding bad cops accountable.
But here's the thing. What Dr. Giro 64, bro, he learned from Donald Trump. Look here, coming up on this election, coming up now. If we want to look at policies, whose policies are going to better benefit black men? Now, if you want Joe Biden in there with his policies that are geared towards certain Black Lives Matter and their destruction of the nuclear black family, they've already said it. They want to replace, women with trannies and men with trannies. It is what it is. If you can't go on their website and see that, you're blind. But if you want right now in this election coming up, conservative values matter most to black men.
Now, a question. Now, the thing about it is, and I'm just asking, General, you there, brother? You there? I'm not sure the general up here. But one of the things about it is I've been talking about proficient policies for black men to protect them. There's not really much stuff out there to protect us, especially when men I'm dealing with a brother who's trying to help black men get back on their feet. Now, funny enough, the state doesn't have that many programs to actually want to help black men rehab or get right back off the street, or brothers coming out of the VA. And so I'm like, why don't we take some of the money that's really not being used, or buying new Camaros or different stuff that they don't need? Mind you, the military's been getting defunded for years, and we still got to go out there and roll out and do our jobs. However, I'm saying, so why don't you take some of that money and put it towards brothers out there trying to get jobs, trying to get back in, trying to get a housing or anything like that. That would seem to me more logical to actually help towards the crime, the poverty, different men needing said we need more workers out there at work. Like, there are different things that we could do to start curbing the issues going on out there in America. Now, I wouldn't know what man would be against brothers getting said jobs or getting grassroots jobs to actually get back to work. That would only make sense, being that we have the crime rate has been rising. You know what I'm saying? Like, if literally, what man would be against that? But whenever I talk about defunding, everybody automatically means that means getting rid of the police. That's not what it means. Defunding means allocating the funds. The military has been doing that for years, allocating the funds from one set position to another set position. That's the only thing that's going on with the police. If you're not using the funds properly, which, mind you, we've been seeing them buying new squad cars and new stuff, rather than actually probably work what they got, they only take a squad car for about 2 years. The car is supposed to actually go for 8 to 10 years. They're only using them for 2 years, but burning up tires. I remember another case that we had down there in Savannah. One of the cops' wives was taking the gas card for getting gas and filling up her Escalade. Like, I mean, come on now. These people, like, there got to be a certain set line drawn of, listen, if you screw up, this is the set punishment. But I doubt X's wife, I'm just using X's wife, can go take the gas card to the company gas card and use that to fill up her vehicle. That shit's going to clock on the books. But if nobody's holding these said people accountable, like I got to be held accountable or other people got to be held accountable, that's a said problem that we got going on. That's what
BMT. How about you run for office? How about you run for office, bro?
Actually, I was actually on town council, so yeah.
Well, there you go. Boom.
Hey, BMT, let me ask you a question.
If you a man, get up there too.
Boom.
Hey, BMT, let me ask you a question, because what you're saying is right. We have to be held accountable. But here's my issue: our first protection was supposed to be the family structure. Was supposed to be us building entrepreneurship, so we wouldn't be relied on a corrupt system. Like so completely relied, because now black people are completely relying on the system because we have been gutted of that internal protection that was there intrinsically through family, through giving values through generation and generation. Now that's gutted out. So now we're forced to beg the same people that oppress us in hopes that they're not giving us a Trojan horse or deception, which possibly they could be, because all of the real stuff that comes from, and I'm going to say it comes from God, like our ability to procreate, our ability to have families and attribute values that the government won't give us, we've gotten rid of that. So now we're just hoping that a corrupt system will give us an uncorrupt policy. And so what's keeping us from not giving a lip service? They'll put a policy in place, but now we have to see, are they going to enforce it? How they're going to enforce it? Like, are they going to create a new loophole, a new form of corruption that, okay, now police are getting held accountable, but something else falls through the crack? Because it's always like one hand is washing the other in the system.
Spiritual. I'll address the first thing you said before you get too far about the family structure. It's my belief 100% that we have to, like, we lost a couple generations. So, I was talking to my homeboy who's a snowflake, and I was able to convince him, like, look, bro, let me paint the real picture for you, which he's a high school principal, in Georgia outside Atlanta. I said, man, you need to start a charter school for young black men to catch them early. You see what's happening with these boys out here. Their minds have to be set differently. And these men have to be taught the nuclear structure. And as part of the SYSB and values, I tell them, teach these young men to find a woman that will help you grow, that will help you benefit and build a legacy and build a nuclear family. Unfortunately, you might not be, these boys might not be able to find that in the matrix. But if we move on and find these women elsewhere, that's what we can start new nuclear families and build a new black society.
So,
Well, I wanted to jump in on that real quick. If we're going to promote policies at all, why not promote policies that actually build families? Because all this talk about policy, and it's like we're gonna use policy to defang the people who would defend our communities, but we don't want to use policy to actually build the families that would populate a strong black community. I think we're using this argument about policy in the wrong way. We should have government supporting families that will pay taxes to build a strong community.
David,
So we want to divert the attention from the police to focus on trying to build a family when you don't haven't defeated feminism. Like,
right, here we go.
Well,
Here we
that's
go.
the policy argument.
Thank
No,
you.
no, no, right there. That's the policy argument. If we're going to defeat feminism, the police would be less of an issue. Because if you defeat feminism, you'd have way less cops dragging men away from their fucking role as a father in the home.
Wait, hold on. I literally brought up about the biases of police officers taking men out of the home and them trying to find a place to stay. And y'all literally said, well, black crime in the community. And so what the fuck? Like, pick a struggle.
No, I agree with you on that. No, BMT, I agree with you on the whole homelessness angle and all that. Like, I'm not saying you have a bad point when you bring that up. But if you attack that problem, you're attacking feminism. You're not going to be attacking the cops. Cops are just foot soldiers. For the most part, they take orders and follow commands. You're going to have to get rid of the command structure, the ideology of their command structure, which is largely feminist and it's anti-male.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. And I remember me and M.O.T did this show where we literally talked about a man that had a gun being pointed at it. You remember that, M.O.T? And you literally had it where a psychiatrist hired by the state was fine with that woman pointing a gun at that man. And she said, I quote, M.O.T deserves to go to jail for literally saying that cop, that she was practicing bad law and using it to abuse that man. Now, mind you, if we had proper policing policies, that woman wouldn't be able to do that. This is a woman that literally is in the court system that literally rips men out of the home. Not
testifies on behalf of the state.
We still got the episode. I
spoke about this during the debate, BMT. Were you listening?
Policies that help to break up the family were certain types of policies that help to break it up as well. That go outside of the police. That can go outside of the police state. The police state is there to enforce it. But there are other policies that went on to take you out of the home. Okay, exactly. And let's put it like this: those policies, as let's say DPM, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, and so forth, spoke about and talked about how the liberals and all them got in the middle of this shit and fucked it up. All right. So there were other policies that were involved that are separate from police, but the police state enforces it. Let's just put it like that. So if you really want to talk about building the black family back again, you have to deal with a whole different set of policies that are a little bit outside of just straight up a police policy.
Employment discrimination against black men.
More from a standpoint of properly policing the community, where we can work where we can have a functional police force that kind of works more towards our favor than against us. And a good police force helps us to reduce crime. It certainly does do that as well.
I was going to add to Nagone, discrimination against black men. Moynihan talked about that. can't have strong families without men who can be providers.
And so, Renaissance man,
discrimination against black men, yeah, but there's a lot of discrimination against black.
So, Renaissance man, so in all these years, that since these laws have been passed, the 60s, and all this, get the black man out the house, we've had over 50 years of this policy, and it's been ingrained in about 2 generations. What's your solution to fixing that problem of the culture? The culture is now basically single momhood and freaking dad got to pay child support. How do we fix that culture?
The way you fix any culture, you've got to have a sort of a standard. You've got to have people who uphold that standard and model it, and then you've got to have people who follow them. And in some cases, you got to have people leave these environments. One thing that I always try to point out is that when you look at black people in America, we're not monolithic. Our problems are more severe in some areas rather than others. And part of the issues, I think, is that we get the brunt of whatever society is experiencing, and in certain areas of the country we get it worse than others. So I think an example of like M.O.T moving to somewhere else, to a different environment, as well, is an option.
Okay, and to Dr. Jiro in the chat, I don't know if you're familiar with myself and M.O.T, but myself and M.O.T, we've agreed on feminism and dealing with the bunk bed woman situation in the black community since we've known each other. That policy, me and M.O.T probably agree on 99.9%. Is that we got to, like what Zero says, we got to deal with the nuclear black family and what's happened to the black community and the family aspect. And what's happening to fathers out there and our rights being removed.
Yeah.
But my point of saying that too is that it is an
M.O.T, before you jump in, I want to actually direct something at you, because I know you and I have had our differences, and I don't take none of this shit personally.
Go ahead.
The point of it is, if you really sincerely take issue with the state of the American black woman as she relates to the black men in the community, how can you continue to vote Democrat when the Democrats are the main power base for the black woman politically? This is where she gets to implement all of her laws against the black man. That's why I don't get why you don't.
I want to answer your question.
It's the Democrats and Republicans.
Wait. Look on. All right. Here's the thing.
Go ahead, bro.
I can vote with a particular party because I care about the Supreme Court decisions. The same way that you vote for conservatives, but you ignore the alt-right, I can vote for the Democratic Party and I can ignore feminism because I'm not affected by it. Period. I'm not affected by it. I'm not trying to deal with any of these women on a personal level. It's all business. Right?
You claim that you are more affected in your day-to-day life by the alt-right than by feminism?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Well, I'm saying that right now. I'm making the case that the feminist laws and the policies of our Democrat agenda are going to do way more damage to the black man than the alt-right will do.
It does not affect
Well, take yourself out of it. The black man as a general population, the feminist agenda will damage us way more than the alt-right. Alt-right don't want to turn our boys into girls. Alt-right doesn't want to kick men out of the home.
They just want to kill you. They just want to wipe
you.
out.
The alt-right is invisible.
I'll take a fair fight any day, bro.
The alt-right is invisible, Renaissance man.
Right, like I will have a fair fight head-to-head against a man than fucking spot flies against an invisible enemy.
David. The reason why I can't move up faster with the government contract than I can right now, it's not because of feminism. It's not because of feminism.
It's because of the alt-right?
No, it's because of the way the contracting system works, and there ain't a lot of black people up there.
I was going to say too, M.O.T.
Is a problem for most black people then.
M.O.T. I was going to say too, for you on your side too, the Republicans in general are going to be smaller government, at least in rhetoric, so that's less contracts for you.
Yes, that's exactly what it means.
But see, for somebody like me, a businessman like me, dealing with a state like Oklahoma, where the cannabis industry is super deregulated versus a California or Oregon, man, it benefits me. Like I said, I'm not religious. When Republicans and, TradCon start talking that religious stuff, I'm like, peace, Zoom, I'm out of here. When it comes to that social stuff, I'm still moderate. But the conservative side of me, It's about the family stuff. That's why, I will never have any vitriol for his M.O.T. I want those single moms who produce those terrorists in bunk beds just as much.
And also,
okay, if the conservatives
how
were
does
so
the
much about
alt-right
family,
stand in the
why did the
how does
conservatives
the alt-right
not
fuck
sit
up
back and
family?
intervene heavily? I just want to say this very quickly.
Go
Why did the
ahead, bro.
conservatives not so intervene heavily when we saw some of these social policies and these other things coming about, and then when they got more in power, they didn't do anything to turn that around. It's not about conservative. It's not about Democrat or Republican. You guys just don't see. You don't see the big picture of kind of what's really going on here. The Democrats have played just a bigger role, okay, as far as bringing on a lot of police craziness and everything else like that with the Clinton administration and doing a lot of mass incarceration and all that. The Democrats were big in this. Republicans started
Black
it up.
Democrats
Democrats
asked for
doubled
that
down
shit,
on it.
That's
So
Democrats,
both sides,
Nagone.
Black
both
Democrats
parties
wanted that in the
moved in.
90s. They
The
wanted that.
conservative movement did nothing to stop.
Well, this is now, Nagone. This is why we're trying to get new
It did
people in
nothing
there
to
to
stop
push these policies, Nagone.
that had effect on the black family.
But
Nothing.
Nagone, that's
Didn't do
why
shit.
we want
But
to
who
change
is in there?
things.
Who is in there pushing new policies?
From a policy perspective.
Why
I
should
wanna see-
Republicans be responsible for shit Black Democrats agreed to? When the 90s policies came up, not one of those motherfuckers stopped
I
and
can't
said
hear
no.
him too good.
They were
My shit's
all on
breaking up.
policy with that. They were no. In the 90s, Black Democrats were on board with the crime bills.
I was on court with the
No.
crime bill. These motherfuckers gotta get
Right.
the fuck
So
off the
now
goddamn
it's a
street.
bad deal. So don't hate it now when it saved the fucking community 20 years ago.
No. I agree with the crime bill. I agree with the crime
me
bill.
too.
Mass
I don't hate the
started
crime bill per
mass
se.
incarceration started with the Republicans. Democrats doubled down.
Because the drug war started it all, and that started with Republicans.
Yeah, with
And
Nixon.
the drug war was more about making money and money for police departments than it had anything to do with crime. And we
Man,
know
everybody was in on that drug war, fellas. Everybody
Right,
got paid
nobody
off
has
for that, y'all.
and jailed you for it.
But y'all, what we're talking about is we started in the early 90s and we're taking it back to the mid 80s. Let's talk about now. Why you said, there's all these neo-conservatives, these new conservatives coming in because they want to bring about change.
Who are they? Who are they that are legitimately
Because if we talk
policy?
neo-conservatives, all y'all are going to say is coons, white supremacists, alt-right, because that's what the media is feeding you all. If you can look them up for yourself, because M.O.T can name them. M.O.T has spouted them off all the time. When I left the manosphere, and my daughter, who anybody knows my situation, my daughter went through hell and high water, and meeting a conservative young man who was my new son-in-law and getting, following under the programs of some of these neoconservatives who are about law and order and family brought her back around. And now my daughter, who I was a deadbeat for the first 13 years of her life, me and her are thick as thieves. And, I came to tears last week that we were able to get that close because that's new conservatives.
Individual examples.
It's bigger than that, Nagone. There's tens of thousands. There's tens of thousands of brothers out here.
I mean, you bring up
We want black
You're not looking at
families.
this thing enterprise.
Black families over everything. That's what we want.
Conservatives didn't do shit for the family. Conservatives didn't do
now,
dick for the family. They didn't do shit.
Now it's for
They
the
didn't do
future.
shit for
We
the
can't
black family.
dwell on the
love the
past.
family.
They did nothing to stop feminism.
Conservatives
They did
might have
nothing
stood
to stop
down,
any
but
of this
liberals killed it. Liberals killed
right,
it.
they
They
did
waged
nothing.
war against our families, bro. Abortion is war against our families. The feminist movement is war against our families. Conservatives they rolled over and they basically started to switch sides. But I mean, not on conservatives, Republicans. The Republican Party has switched sides in a lot of battles. They dropped the ball and they don't want to fight the fight. But as far as black conservatism is concerned, we want black families back. We want policies that promote families. We want policies that promote.
You're not gonna get that shit with these women,
Black
dude.
conservatives
Conservative
I don't
women
want it from the women. I want our government out the way. I don't want the women to do shit. I want the government out the way.
Black conservatives doubled down.
I mean, but feminism is the government. Like, come on, dude.
The black
Bro, that's why we
did
got
nothing to help the fucking black family. They did nothing to do that.
But
nothing.
you said
they helped to destroy it.
Black
more by
conservatives
backing up these
no, the
policies
black
that
conservatives live in
further
Texas
jail
corner.
further tore you out the
Black
frame and back that
conservatives
shit
don't
up,
have a
along with-
voice.
along with many black Democrats as well.
Hey, excuse me, y'all.
I
Dr.
mean,
Gerald.
that's the reality. That's the reality. You guys are talking platitudes that don't even adhere. But you don't know the history of how this shit went down.
Nagone, we know the history. That's why we want to change
We have
it.
to look at this stuff from our best interest. not from just a strict party perspective. That's why
We're
when you
not.
talk to real
No, we're not
conservatives,
talking
they
parties.
sit
We're
down, they
not
look
talking
at real
parties.
policy.
Conservatives is not a
Because
party.
they
It's
know
Republican
that
and
the
Democrat.
black conservative did nothing for the black family.
Let me
Zero.
ask you.
Both
Wait, let
families,
me
no,
ask you
both
this,
parties
David.
have failed our
In
families.
fact, they
David,
double
can I
down
ask
on
you
Both
breaking it
this?
parties
up.
have failed our families. That's what we want to fix.
David, can I ask you this though? You think feminism is just a domestic issue?
It's not just a domestic issue, but I only
So,
have domestic concerns.
well, I'm saying you think you're going to be able to just attack and destroy feminism in the United States and think there's not going to be any international backlash.
Well, put it this way: the fight has to be joined. You can't fix it if you don't attack it in some way. You have to embrace the backlash. And frankly, men have more power than we think we do.
My
We've
stream
been
yards are real nice.
content to feeling
I can't remember
powerless,
to hear you guys.
but
I'm about to drop it.
I would
No,
argue that I would argue that a body of men have way more power than any body of women. We just choose to not really throw our weight around because we like women.
my only point in saying all that is if you know it's going to be a backlash, and I think it's an international type of thing you're going to be dealing with, I seriously doubt you're going to be able to get change by just going and voting in the GOP. And then also you're going to completely ignore the damage you're going to do on the other side with something I don't think you're going to be able to pull off because of international ramifications of it.
Oh, okay, Renaissance man.
No,
Are
no,
you
no, no.
SYSBM, bro? I'm just saying, are you SYSBM or a passport, bro?
What do you mean by that? In the sense of, are you saying that?
Have you traveled outside the U.S. to find a potential mate? Or are you married to a foreign woman from a conservative family?
No, I'm not. I've not traveled out for the particular reason of finding a mate. I have traveled out, and not currently.
Okay, so this is what I tell the guys I mentor in my SYSBM group. I say, look, 95% of the B-dubs in the United States are with the Democratic Party and these crazy leftist feminist ideologies. You got about 5% who are on the conservative side that a lot don't want anything to do with black men because they've been called coons and bootlickers and everything else their entire lives by black people. So then you're left with this. Okay, let me go to another culture. And more times out of not, these men are traveling out the country or they're traveling the US and they're linking up with feminists of other races or other cultures instead of what we say vetting a woman and going and finding a woman from a culture of conservative values. Finding a woman, if you go to a country, not doing that pay for play stuff, but learning the culture and learning the language and finding a woman you could build a future with and have a nuclear family with.
I mean, I have nothing wrong with that. I'm all for voting with your feet. I don't think you necessarily have to go out of the country to do all of that. Because I mean,
no, I didn't say you don't have to.
The group of women you're speaking about are a minority in America, so it's pretty easy if you really want to just say, "Hey, I'm done with these people, and I'm only gonna deal with the cultured ones." Which, to be honest with you, is so bad. It kind of at least stands out when one is cultured as one is not pretty quickly. But I have nothing wrong with people going to what's best for them.
Well, Renaissance. Look at it this way, right? If there's a power struggle between black men and black women, then what I'm suggesting is we attack their power base. Why should we allow them to vote money out of our pockets and then join them side by side in a protest for some more supposed equality? This is a farce. Why should we stand side by side with women who are stabbing us in the back and stealing our wallets? This is a silly game to play. It's a silly game to play to think we're going to move forward as men, but we vote for what women want. That's not how anything really works in life.
But I guess my question to you is, aren't you essentially saying on the other side is we go deal with people who are enemies? So because it's in our best interest.
We have enemies all around us. We should be ruthlessly pragmatic.
Hold on, what enemies?
Well, if you're proposing white people as the enemy, then I'm granting them that we are surrounded by enemies.
I'm not saying all white people are your enemies, but there is a certain element that within the Republican Party that is very anti-black.
Hold on, Rip. Yeah, hold up.
It's a false premise. Well, go, Troy.
That's severely false because guess what, Renaissance man, since I've made the switch over, honestly, the only hate, the only racism I experienced before and after my switch was from other black people, bro. And when you come to this side, honestly, the alt-right really does not exist, bro.
Bro, I trust.
What?
Let me tell you something.
What?
I grew up in the deep South. I've been around white conservatives, white Republicans, what you want to say, my whole life.
This is 2020 though, bro.
The college that I graduated from had one of the most conservative student bodies in the country. I am not new to white conservatives and
bro. I went to the same thing in Virginia, bro. And it's 2020, and I've let that stuff in the past. Black people have to leave it in the past and go forward. When you look
this isn't the past. I'm talking about like 2013, 2014.
And which school did you go to, bro?
Some long time ago.
What school did you go to?
Auburn University.
Okay. I mean, were you judged by the content of your character, the color of your skin?
It depended on who you were dealing with. And by the way, I went when Obama got elected in 2008. So I saw how people were acting.
Man, Obama pulled a bait and switch on us, bro. Obama came to office talking about family values.
No.
I'm not switched to the LGBT movement, and he pissed a lot of conservatives off by that way. He pissed a lot of brothers off as well. And he contributed.
I'm not talking about when he got into office. I'm talking about when he won on election night. I saw people's reaction to it and how people were acting. And you kind of saw these so-called conservatives that you all say are so for us. I saw their true colors then.
Where are they at now, bro? Where are they at now where our country is burning and getting destroyed? That's what I want to know.
Still in the Republican Party.
Where are they at, man? That's what I want to know. What I say is they're not speaking up. They're not speaking up and saying, crush these idiots that are destroying our country. I told you I got beef with them as well.
Instead of black men being the face of burning down America and ripping up old shit that really isn't bothering anybody
how are we
anymore,
the face of that?
Why can't we be the face of rebuilding this fucking family structure? Why can't we be the face of marching to the future? Why can't we be the face of starting something new? Like, I don't like this idea that we have to fight battles that have been lost and won 100 years ago.
I don't see how we're the face of what's going on now. I completely.
I'll tell you, Renaissance man. Hey, Renaissance man, when does a black male life matter to Black Lives Matter?
When they get killed, for the most part.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
But how are we the face of people tearing down monuments, like David said?
Look, when you see it on the news, they'll show snippets of, white people pulling down monuments. But when they show the crazy stuff, like the Catholic dude getting beat up, it was some daggone thuggos. What does a verb say? Some 12 gauge mics.
Listen,
that's what they show.
I'm not saying it's all black people out there doing shit, but I don't want to be associated with those white people. If I'm going to be associated with anything about white people, it's not those motherfuckers.
I want nothing to do with Antifa. I wish I would run into one so I could knock their fucking teeth out.
But you want something to do with people in the alt-right.
I don't want anything to do with the alt-right. I don't run into any alt-right folks. None.
You don't run into the alt-right or racist or what?
None.
Have you been to a Trump rally?
None. Yes. None.
I don't believe it.
None. Have you seen the people that protest across the street from Trump rallies, the freaking snowflakes? Those are the real racists. Those are the people that are out here on media actually calling daggone black male cops the hard ER. I can pull up clips right now.
How do you side with white bitches that call black cops niggers and fucking race traitors to their face? And those are the people we're supposed to side with in the new Black Unity America. This is goofy shit.
Okay, my question to you all is this: then why don't black men pull out of both and operate from an independent base?
That's why SPM is, bro.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what SPM is.
But my question is, why are you all going so hard for Republicans and not wanting to call them out on their shit?
I said, I'll repeat myself, Renaissance man.
Temporary alliance, that's all.
I am a conservative.
It doesn't sound temporary from a lot of these black conservatives. A lot of them sound like they have sold out full and are on board.
You can't say sold out. When you got people
conservative, whatever you want to call them.
Renaissance man.
Right now,
really?
the direction Trump's going in, the minute the Republican Party moves in a direction I don't like it going in, I'll be speaking against everybody again. But for the moment, the Republicans have it just for now.
So what would they have to do? What would they have to do to go in that direction, David? What would they have to do?
Wait and see.
Keep kneeling. Keep kneeling. That's what they have to do.
I'm talking about the Republicans.
They are
I'm
kneeling. The
talking about the
Republicans are
Republicans.
kneeling.
They're fucking kneeling. They're turning into pussies, and I don't. They were already some pussies, and we need people to actually stand up and fight for morality and law and order and common justice for everyone.
Yeah, these Republicans, they need to come out here and get their forces to come crush these Antifa and certain Black Lives Matter movements. They need it. They need to get,
Wait,
you know,
wait, but
in there,
how can you
pass
wait?
laws.
So are you advocating now bringing the military against civilians?
National Guard. Yes, Antifa. Yes,
But you
100%.
just
And
said you were for law and order.
Atlanta has the National
law
Guard
and
right
order.
now. Atlanta has National Guard. No one's calling that racist.
Minneapolis.
I don't believe having the National Guard is racist. But when you imply that they need to come out and crush citizens, I don't see how you're talking about the
Okay, so
Constitution
you're
and
in
law and
support.
order.
You're in
And,
support of what
actively-
Antifa is doing.
Most
no,
of these
I'm not
people
in
are
support of what
actively
they're doing. I'm
from-
saying that I hear you saying that they need to come out and crush people, and I'm saying it sounds like a lot of authoritarianism for people who say that they are conservatives. And
No,
therefore
it's
the Constitution.
nationalism. This is nationalism. I like this country, and I don't want people, as bad as things may have been in the past, and as imperfect as it is, even right now. I like this country, and I'd rather fix it than fuck it up. And I'd rather have our government treat them as traitors and threats to the nation than college babies.
Do you understand the slippery slope with that?
No, there is no slippery slope. You know who I look at? I look at that black father. No, that black father. Hold up. Okay, if any of y'all saw that black father on Hannity who lost his son and freaking Chop before they shut it down, you got a 40-year-old man crying his eyes out on TV. I had to pull over on I-10 and cry myself. Myself and my wife had to pull over and cry. Listen to this man freaking just lose it because his son died in Chop. They should have went in there day one with the police, National Guard, and shut that down because 2 black young men lost their lives in there. I don't know. I don't support any of that Antifa crap when young black men are the only ones losing their lives.
Most of the shooting victims in Chop were black. Most of the chaos, most of the brunt being borne out in this chaos is being borne out by black people. You don't see the white suburbs taking hits like that. It's our people taking hits in the so-called fight for justice. No one's looking at the body count and want to pump the brakes. Only the conservatives are trying to pump the brakes and say, wait, maybe there's a better strategy. Maybe there's other alternatives. Maybe we have to refocus our energy. But everyone wants to give in to the mob, and I just don't want to give in to the mob.
So you all, but going back to what you said, if you don't see a slippery slope, you don't see the problem where you're basically going to take the military and have them do as you say, whatever, put down these Antifa people against people who are Americans and think that they can't demonize you and that be you 5-10 years
Okay,
from now.
all right. Renaissance man, was Frederick Douglass, tearing his statue down, was that not a tipping point for you? Was, killing, young black men in the street?
I agree. You can go out there and you can restore law and order, but that's not what I heard from you with saying.
You know what? Restore law and order. Yes. These people have lost their mind. They've committed sedition against the United States of America. They need to go.
I want a more firm hand. That's it. A firm hand. I'm not asking for people to go Rambo. I'm not asking for a squad of freaking elite platoon soldiers to come out there. But I want law and order. You shouldn't be allowed to just tear down statues. And not only that, think about this, all right? They're going around tearing down statues and being unpunished. But the couple who goes out and displaces the BLM paint,
what statues?
charge of a hate crime, bro. It's a hate crime to be on my side.
Frederick Douglass statue.
Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant.
Abraham Lincoln.
Ulysses S. Grant. Numerous abolitionists.
They're complaining about the freaking what's the statue with all the presidents that he just gave a speech.
Mount
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. They hate Mount Rushmore now.
No, they don't hate Mount Rushmore. Come on, dude. All right, no.
It's symbolic, bro. It's symbolic. They hate the nation.
No, I'm talking about.
You live
no, like, dude, you're not gonna get me with this patriotic shit. All right.
Oh,
y'all
come
taking
on,
this shit a
M.O.T.
little
I'm not
bit too far.
M.O.T. I'm not a patriot. You don't think I'm a patriot, M.O.T.?
No, I'm just saying nobody's trying to tear down Mount Rushmore. Come on.
M.O.T. These fools are acting
you must
complete
not
fools.
Follow the news enough, bro. They don't like Mount Rushmore.
No.
John Lemon last night said we should put Obama's face on Mount Rushmore. I shit you not. This is what they're pumping out for the masses.
All right. And this is why I hop out from the conservative shit. Like once we go
Come on,
this far down the
MOT.
rabbit hole, I can't.
Where's there a rabbit hole,
It's
MOT?
not a rabbit hole. It's mainstream media, bro. This is the mainstream media.
Okay.
This is
All right.
CNN at 9 o'clock
You know.
p.m. This is
Yeah,
what they give
okay.
up.
So I should just tune in
Well-
and hand it in Fox News, right?
Watch Tucker
Watch what you
Carlson.
want, but watch everything.
Anything. Look at every
Don't
source.
watch one
Look at the
thing.
difference.
Watch everything.
Oh.
Do your
You
own
don't
research.
know how far
Well, I'm
down the
about
rabbit hole
I'm
your
about to
side is
wrap
going,
this up
bro.
anyway. I'm about to wrap
Yeah.
this up in a few. So, brothers, whoever want to take their part in shots, go ahead, pull the trigger before we get out of here.
I'm good.
No shots,
No,
man. I'm good with everybody on the panel. I just believe we need strong black families, and we should aim our energies at
We're
strengthening
not
the
going to
black
get
family
those
unit.
strong black families with the people who are left here. You gotta, like, no.
Well,
When you say
listen,
strong black family,
the future,
well,
bro.
well,
Wipe away
okay.
this generation, the wash. The future is still the game.
What I'm saying is, we need strong black male-led households.
Can I ask you one
That's
quick
it.
question, David? When you say strong black families, you're talking about a black man and woman?
Yeah, I'm not with that Lamont shit. Like Professor Lamont Hale believes men can sometimes have babies, and men like that
Dude,
should
that
be
wasn't
banned
the
from the community.
question. That
I'm
wasn't the
making my
question.
point, goddammit. Let me make my point. I won't interrupt your points. You can make all the jokes you want, bro. Shit. But when motherfuckers like that become professors at major black universities and are teaching
It's
our
all
college
talking
students
points.
how men can
You
have
can't even ask a simple
babies,
question.
I think we need to kick them out of the fucking community.
Mark
The
Lamont
only
Hill
thing I
is
was-
not part of anybody's community. So the question was, David, do you mean black man and domestic?
Hey,
I
y'all,
was
come
making
over to
fun
my
of the
channel when
whole
T.P.O.T. shuts it
transgender
down.
point. What else could I
I
mean?
just dropped the
There
link.
is no transgenderism, or what else could I mean but black men and black women?
Okay.
I was just asking because I see a lot of conservatives and they tend to have women of different ethnicities, which I don't
It's
have a
not-
problem with. It's just
We're not
I don't
talking-
I'm not picking on those people, bro. I'm talking
I
about
just
black
don't-
families. I don't want to pick on
No,
anybody. I'm
get
talking
that
about
crazy
black
thinking out of here, Renaissance man. This is 2020. I support
I don't-
SYSBM and a
I
black
don't-
man's right to choose
I
whichever
don't
mate
have a
improves
problem
his
with that,
life.
but don't.
No,
I
don't
don't
suggest
have a
it then,
problem.
brother. Come on now. You got
No, the
MOT
only
and myself up here both have women of other nationalities. Come on, bro.
Let me finish. I don't care about who you date. Just don't.
And don't
come
suggest
with,
it, bro. Don't be disingenuous suggesting it,
No,
bro.
don't-
David
don't-
Monroe
don't-
brought up transsexuals replacing the black woman or any other woman in relationships.
I
Come
don't
on, man.
care. I don't care who you date. Just don't come with the whole, oh, I'm over here with the conservatives and I want strong black families. Wink, wink. Like
You can
just
have a
say-
strong black family. The man creates the family. I have a wonderful, strong black family with my Dominican wife. I have a strong black family.
Thank
It
you.
is what it is. The man creates the family, not the woman.
Black men should make families, and they should be supported in their efforts of making families with whomever they want to fucking make a family with.
That
Long
like
as
I
it's
said,
woman.
that's fine.
Long as
That's
it's a
fine.
woman.
I just hear these conservatives who say this, and it seems like a Trojan horse at times. Just say, hey, I think people should be with whoever they want to be with.
Man, we've been
Not a
saying that
conservative,
forever,
but don't-
Renaissance man.
but don't
Hey,
use
but
the
anyway,
moniker of,
hey, when
oh,
X shuts down, y'all, come on over. I dropped the link. Y'all can come on over.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm about to shut this down. Good debate tonight, brothers. I appreciate you coming through. Folks, I don't know if we're gonna have one on Saturday. We might do an early one on Saturday, folks. But tomorrow we're supposed to have former Buffalo City police officer Cario Holloman Horn is supposed to come on tomorrow, folks. And we're going to see her and a few other surprise guests that I got for you. So this is going to be like time number 3.5 that she's supposed to come on, y'all. It's supposed to be for real this time. So we're gonna see what happens, you know. But she's supposed to be on tomorrow. Her and maybe a couple other guests. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna talk, some more of this cop shit and because that seems to be the going topic these days. So come on through tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. Any parting shots, brother M.O.T. or brother David?
No, not at all, man.
No, it's
All
all
right.
peace,
All right,
bro.
all right,
Good
cool.
tonight.
All right, later.
Good tonight.
All right,
Good debate tonight, brothers. Good debate.
all right, cool. All right, thanks. All right, man. You have a
Brother.
nice one. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Anytime, brother. Anytime,
All right.
brother M.O.T. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close it out, folks. Another good debate. You know, y'all say M.O.T. won it. Y'all know I never second guess y'all. What y'all say it is, that's what it is. Wait a minute, why is my lights off? Hold on a second, y'all. And my damn light was out, y'all. Thought I had blowed the shit. But yeah, come through tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. Good stuff tonight, y'all. I appreciate everybody sticking around. You know, y'all my folks. It's always good. I appreciate all the cash apps and the donations and the PayPals as always, because I appreciate you good folks. Good stuff tonight, man. Like I said before, we might do something Saturday. I don't know for sure, but you know, if we do, you good folks will be the first to know. So we're going to go ahead now, though. We're going to go ahead and close it out. I want to give a big shout out to brother M.O.T. and brother Trey, the NBD, for a good debate tonight. I'll see y'all on the next one, man. I appreciate everybody coming out, man. I definitely appreciate all you good folks who stuck around, donated, and watched, even when shit was messing up. So I'm going to play a couple of these commercials and we're going to get out of here, y'all.
Open your mind. Hey guys, TPOT on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But you knew that already.
Open your mind.
Peace, everyone. You may have noticed the super chat icon is missing because T.P.O.T. has been demonetized. Yes. So if you would like to show your support, we would really appreciate it. If so, you have to use the Cash App or StreamYard donation tab. We won't let the speech police at YouTube stop you from showing your support to T.P.O.T. Remember, StreamYard, and Cash App is how you donate to T.P.O.T. Thank you.
And one more thing, folks. Kiss my black ass. YouTube. Now back to the show.
You know.
Yeah. So once again, man, thank everybody for coming through tonight, man. These good folks right here, man, in this area over here, always sticking in with me, man. I appreciate you good folks. And like I said, man, I will see y'all on the other side. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and check us out on our other social media platforms. Because if you don't, you know what I'm going to do. Don't make me play it. But anyway, I appreciate y'all coming out tonight, man. And all I can do now, man, is leave y'all with 3 words. You know, like I always do.
Let us open our minds.
I know leadership don't need love.
Peace, folks.
Love don't mean retaliation. If we don't stop, if we wait, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If we parade, they celebrate. At the death of a child, compensate. I never say, hey, remember your forefathers' tears, the lives which was lost for us to see peaceful years when shots stop. Oh, it means not. If we parade, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If we parade, they celebrate. At the death of the child of a slave. Open our mind. We don't stop. Open our mind. Open our mind. The child of a slave. Proper thought. Open our mind.
Join the league. Join the league.
Only from the Prophet of Thought Series Media.
Open your minds.